was like a life-size dollhouse. It was huge and whoa, was that a whirlpool bath? I was in heaven.
Slow down, dear.
OMG, you even have an indoor badminton court? I love badminton. This was the most amazing house ever. Hey, I'm Helen, and I grew up in a normal house with a normal family. I love my parents, and life was great and all, but the one downside was the long journey to my new high school. My mom, Grace, said she had the answer to this and suggested I go and stay with my Aunt Lucy, as she lived closer to the school. Okay, so I'd never met Lucy before. Actually, until Mom mentioned her, I didn't even know I had an aunt. Mom explained that Aunt Lucy moved to Canada for business and had only returned to the US recently. This was the first time I had to live so far away from my parents, so I was kind of worried I'd get homesick. But one advantage was my bestie, Madeline, lived right nearby. Awesome, right? Besides, this place was dope. I couldn't stop gawking at that badminton court. Seriously, it was bigger than my house. Aunt Lucy, I guess you must really like badminton.
Yes, many people think it's just a backyard game, but it's a true sport to me.
Wow, it was a rarity to meet someone with the same tastes as me. We chatted for ages about our interests. Lucy was so easy to talk to, and I honestly felt like I'd known her for years. I would love to become a pro badminton player, but Mom thinks I should keep it as a hobby and find a more stable career.
I see, but don't let others discourage you. The true passion is worth pursuing. Let me arrange a training schedule for you. Now, try this.
Oh, how do you know I like lobster linguine? At first, living with Lucy was like being in a dream world. She pampered me, bought me clothes I wanted, and cooked the most delicious dishes. But beneath the shine, there was also a darker side. Lucy was super strict. I mean, major general level strict. I had to wake up at 5 a.m. each morning for training, run laps of it for an hour, and hit 50 shuttlecocks over the net in a row. If I missed one, I had to start over again. Meanwhile, I still had to keep up with my homework, and I couldn't go and meet my friends on the weekend or do anything without asking Lucy for permission first. At least at school, I could vent to Maddie about it. I expected her to agree with me, but she shrugged and said, I guess your aunt just wants the best for you. Besides, your badminton skills have improved loads. If I could live in a luxurious house, eat delicious food with such a caring aunt, I'd so put up with a grueling training schedule. Yeah, I guess she's right. Maybe I should be more grateful. Of course, on finding out about the school badminton club, I immediately signed up for it. I was walking over to the court, swinging my racket about and ready to show off my skills when these two guys approached me.
Go back to the cheerleading team where you belong, sweetie. Leave the court for the real pros.
How dare these idiots judge me like this? They hadn't even seen me play. Oh yeah? I challenge you to a game. Then we'll see who's serious.
We're the best players in the school, just so you know. Pick one.
Suddenly, another guy appeared next to me and said,
Then let's play doubles.
Oh my God, he's Tyler, the best badminton player in the whole school. I've heard all about his reputation and seen photos of him with a trophy in the school newsletter, but I've never met him before. Surprisingly, he's even cuter in person.
Pfft, you can defeat us in singles, but can you cover that useless girl in a duo match?
That's it. Scoot over. Let me show you what this useless girl can do. The game started and instantly, Tyler and I vibed on the court and were hitting the shuttlecocks at lightning speed. We won in straight sets, and those losers looked so bummed out. Tyler seemed super impressed, and then,
good game, Helen. Do you want to hang out again? How about tomorrow? We could go get some food.
Mamma mia! How can I say no to that? But when I told Aunt Lucy, she didn't take it so well.
Love may seem appealing, but it's a waste of time and energy that will lead to a decline in your badminton abilities. Your grades, your mood, everything. You're too immature to deal with those type of emotions right now.
This was ridiculous. I wasn't a little kid. I was perfectly capable of making my own decisions and following my own feelings. He's a sweet guy who helped me out.
Of course he did. All guys appear nice at first.
Maybe if you just gave him a chance.
Wake up, Helen, and stop yourself from throwing away your dreams for some boy.
Ugh, it was no use. My aunt was too stubborn to listen. I stormed up to my room, feeling frustrated. No way was I letting my aunt's strictness ruin things with my dream guy. So I decided to sneak out to meet Tyler. But how? Ah, I know exactly the person who can help. Matt's red code. Aunt Lucy won't let me see Tyler. Please help me distract her. Okay, but only if you get me a signed copy of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Easy peasy. After that day, I was able to go on multiple dates with Tyler, all thanks to Maddie's help. She always came up with the most convincing excuses, like I was going to her house for group study or we were going to a super important event. Then one time when I was supposed to study at home, it was actually Maddie pretending to be me. Later, I sneak back into my room, all giddy. You wouldn't believe how great our date was today. But Maddie just gave this awkward look. What's up? Did my aunt suspect something? No, everything's fine. Then she immediately climbed out of the window. Strange. But the next day she acted like nothing had happened, so I let it slide. She must have just felt unwell or something. Meanwhile, things with Tyler were getting better and better. After a romantic date, we walked home, and suddenly Tyler stopped me, looking all shy and nervous.
Helen, I really like you, and I like spending time with you. Be my girlfriend, will you?
OMG! This was the best thing that had ever happened to me! I flung my arms around him and yelled out of my lungs, "Yes!" When I finally let go of him, out of nowhere, a kid on roller skates bumped into me and sent me tumbling into the road. A car zoomed toward me, and before I could process anything, Tyler sprinted forward and pushed me away. When I opened my eyes, he was lying there unconscious. I panically called an ambulance and went with him to the hospital. As I sat in the waiting room with floods of tears, I was so scared and didn't know what to do that I ended up calling Aunt Lucy. Only a few minutes later, I saw her hurrying toward me, looking dead serious.
Helen, what have I told you? You lied to me to hang out with a boy?
I had no heart to argue about that and immediately burst into a fresh bout of tears. It's my fault. Tyler risked his life to save me, and now he's hurt. Aunt Lucy's demeanor softened and she pulled me in closer. After a while of consoling me, she finally opened up and shared a story I didn't expect.
Actually, I fell in love when I was around your age, but he betrayed me. I just don't want you to be hurt like that.
Oh, that's terrible. But Tyler is a good guy. I just know he is. He saved me.
And for that, I'm truly grateful. Okay, I'll trust your judgment and give you my blessing to get to know him further.
Thank you. Right then, the doctor appeared and told us that Tyler was all right and he would make a full recovery in a few days. Thank goodness. When Tyler was back, Aunt Lucy stuck to her word and gave me and him a chance together. She even offered to give both of us a badminton lesson. Brace yourself for the craziest training routine ever. But practicing with Tyler made it actually bearable and a lot more fun. I had a big competition coming up, which could get me the professional player title and a chance to join the national team if I won. So I needed all the training I could get. Just one more step away from my greatest dream. Also, I couldn't contain my smile when seeing Lucy gradually warmed up to Tyler. My big day finally came. Mom and Dad were here to support me as well. I excitedly got ready, but when I opened the kit bag, what happened? Oh no! Who's destroyed our babies? I think Lucy might have done it. Why on earth would she do that? I overheard her saying that she was only pretending to like Tyler so she could keep an eye on you both. What? I honestly believed that Aunt Lucy was actually giving Tyler a chance. But it still didn't make any sense. Even if Lucy hated Tyler, why would she try to ruin this competition? She knew how much it meant to me. There's one more thing, but I don't think you're ready to hear it. Gosh, just spill the beans, Maddie. Actually, the day I disguised as you, I found something out. Lucy's not your aunt. She's your mom. She wants to take you back to Canada with her, and she knows if you won this contest, then you'd never want to leave. I stood there in complete shock. So, my beloved family I'd known all these years wasn't actually mine? And Lucy? How come she had the brazenness to show up now as my real mother and wanted to take me back? I felt like my whole life had been one big lie and immediately rushed to find Lucy. Is it true? You're my real mom?
How did you know?
I can't believe you did that to me! You're selfish, terrible, and ruined everything! Go away! I don't want to see you anymore! I don't have a mom like you! Grace is my one and only mother! Lucy looked completely broken, then quietly left. I was shaking in anger and pain when a gentle hand laid on my shoulder.
Helen, sweetie, I know it's hard to take it in. Trust me, this was difficult for us all.
You all lied to me! How could you just agree to send me off to her? You never consider me as your real daughter, do you?
Don't think silly, honey. We love you so much and never want to let you go, unless it's better for you.
Then Mom told me how Lucy came and persuaded her. Turned out, Lucy had a very tragic past. Since childhood, she'd always been the black sheep in her family. They treated her poorly and despised her badminton passion. Then when she told them she was pregnant, they threw her out, and her boyfriend also ditched her right after that, so she had no choice but to leave me at the orphanage and begin a new life in Canada. After countless hardships, she finally became successful, and all she desired was to reconnect with me. I believe everyone deserves a second chance. That's why I let you two live together for a while. Only if you're happy, I would tell you the truth, so you wouldn't be too shocked. Besides, she can help you more than me now. Hey, you even inherited her badminton spirit. I was stunned for a while. It's true that Lucy left me, but that's because she didn't want me to suffer with her. And I indeed had a happy life. I shouldn't be so rude to her. But it was still a lot to digest, so I went home with Mom. I shut myself away until the next day. Tyler came and tried to convince my gloomy self to go for a walk.
I know that's a lot, but I think you should make up with Lucy.
Why are you still on her side? She only pretended to be nice to you, and she ruined the contest just to take me away from this perfect life.
We can find our chance in plenty of other competitions, but there's only one Lucy. She's your biological mother, and it's fine to be mad with her, but you should never reject her.
My mind wandered back to all the happy moments I'd had with Lucy, our interesting chat, the delicious meals she cooked, and the times we played badminton together. She even had a special room to store badminton equipment, especially the rackets. Wait, Lucy treasured badminton rackets. If she simply wanted to stop us from competing in the contest, then she could have just hidden our rackets or pretended that the car broke down. But she would never destroy the rackets like that. Ty, do you remember who else handled our rackets that day?
I'm not sure. I think Madeline had them at some point.
So, could it be Maddie? But why? She had no reason to do that. She was my best friend and always supported me to play badminton. I stormed over to Maddie's house, but she's arguing with her dad on the doorstep.
You useless, pathetic rascal! Go then. I don't care.
Maddie ran off in tears, and I followed her to an alley. Seeing her like that made some of my anger toward her fade. Hey, what's going on? Maddie seemed surprised to see me. She tried to dodge some of my questions at first, but seeing nowhere to hide, she finally confessed. My mom left me to that alcoholic dad who does nothing but shout at me all day. You have two moms who love you, and I don't even have one. I was angry at Lucy because, to me, all of the moms who gave up their child are heartless and deserve no forgiveness. She even wanted to take you to Canada. I couldn't lose you too. The fear and jealousy got the better of me, so I broke your rackets, then blamed Lucy. I'm so sorry. This sounds tough, but you still shouldn't have done it. I'm always here to listen to you, and I'm not moving anywhere. You're stuck with me. When Maddie felt better, I took her to my home and intended to find Lucy to apologize for everything. But Mom said Lucy had decided to go back to Canada and was on her way to the airport. I immediately hailed a cab to the airport, then ran through departures, desperately trying to find Lucy. I was starting to think I was too late, when suddenly I spotted her about to walk through towards security. Lucy! Mom, please don't go!
I thought you don't want me.
No, I was just confused and angry, and I'm sorry that I hurt you. We finally sorted things out and agreed to give each other a chance to start over. So, what happened next? Well, Lucy decided to expand her business to the US so she could stay here with me. My wonderful adoptive parents took Maddie in after helping her get away from her toxic father. So now I have two amazing moms, an awesome sister, and, yes, you know it, a super cute, thoughtful boyfriend. I sprinted to the cafeteria, hoping that there would be something tasty left. This was my teacher's fault. She made me stay behind after class. Mindy, your grades are too low. Yada, yada. Oh no, all I saw were empty trays everywhere. My stomach rumbled at the thought of having to return to class hungry. But then, like a mirage in the desert, the last loaf of bread, chillin' next to Tom the Hottie. Without a second thought, I grabbed it and bit into it. Chewy. Very chewy. Then suddenly, everyone burst out laughing. That's when it hit me. There was no bread. I was munching on Tom's ballet shoes. Hey, I'm Mindy, and I belong to a family of champion weightlifters. Yep, my dad's genes explain why I'm the tallest girl in school. I used to long to become a weightlifter just like Dad, but then I met my BFF, Tiffany. Suddenly, I discovered a world of pretty dresses and delicate spins called figure skating, and I couldn't look at my ugly weightlifting shorts in the same way again. Tiff took me ice skating at the mall, and I loved it. Since then, that's all I've wanted to be. Okay, so I may not be petite like Tiff, but I was smart enough to use algorithms to calculate angles during training. Tiff and I both got scholarships into this amazing sports-focused high school, and yeah, that's when the trouble started. It didn't matter what cute outfits I wore or how normal I tried to be. Being a giraffe made me stand out, and being with pretty, petite Tiff made it worse. The only ones who didn't ignore me were the weightlifting team, but that's only because my dad was their coach. Then, to make things even worse, my clumsiness and appetite of an elephant accidentally got me on Tom's bad side. This was bad, as almost every girl and guy in this place was obsessed with him. Ever since then, no one took me seriously, and trying to avoid my dad so he didn't lecture me on giving up skating for weightlifting was tiring. I was in the changing rooms when Tiff came over. Oh, I forgot it was the annual health check day today. I shouldn't have eaten that muffin earlier. Oh, no, I forgot about that too. No way could I have my weight published for the entire school to see. I'd be nicknamed Mindy the Massive. So when no one was looking, I sneaked out of there. But trying to find a hiding spot big enough for this oversized body isn't easy. The janitor's closet. But as I hurried toward it, I bumped into Tom. Have you ever heard of ladies first?
You call yourself a lady? Fine, lady. Let me have this. In exchange, I have this very yummy snack for you.
What snack?
This bread!
How dare you! At that moment, the door suddenly swung open, and the janitor yelled at us to stop kissing? Ugh, what? Thanks to this unnecessary misunderstanding, we ended up in the principal's office along with our parents. My dad even brought the entire weightlifting team along and started throwing a tantrum.
Mindy, you skipped classes!
I couldn't mention the health checkup, so in a panic, I babbled out, I was on a date with Tom.
Who would ever date you, Miss Brahma Bull?
Then there was a loud bang as my dad smashed the table in half.
Bull? Who are you calling a bull? I mean, Mindy is strong and cute, just like a bull. Our love language is a bit, special, isn't it, honey?
Oh, my lovey donkey. You're revealing a little too much. Everyone gasped in shock, and the next thing I knew, Dad burst into tears of joy and started hugging everyone.
My pumpkin finally has a boyfriend. This calls for a party at my house, but if you ever break my little girl's heart, you're doomed.
I thought it was just a white lie, until the next day the stampede of students bombarded me with questions.
How long have you and Tom been together?
Who made the first move? You or him?
You have to come sit with us.
So this white lie had actually grown legs and was sprinting. But strangely, this feels interesting. Suddenly, I wasn't just Tiffany's oddball sidekick anymore. Instead, I had all the limelight, and this shouldn't be ending so soon. No, I had to extend my fake dating with Tom. So right when Tom walked by, I immediately dragged him away amid the roars of approval from the students. The entire weightlifting team is spying on us. Do you want to feel my dad's wrath if he finds out you were lying to him?
You started this.
I don't think my dad will see it that way.
Fine, I'll play your boyfriend. And you stop eating my shoes.
Deal. So we continued the dating facade, but I didn't expect that the weightlifting team actually was spying on us everywhere. We had to keep up the act. Tom escorted me to all of my classes, stuck adorable notes on my locker, and during lunch, he fed me spaghetti and used his sleeve to wipe the sauce off my mouth. We ended up spending most of our time together, and the spies definitely thought we were the real deal. I knew this was all just an act, but he was like a big cheese ball. My cheese ball, so still, it felt good. The more time I spent with Tom, the more I found myself liking him. He listened as I told him how hard I worked to get into the school, and in return, I learned new aspects about him, such as how much he loved ballet dancing, even though his family and his former friends hadn't always been understanding about it, and that his cold exterior was due to this, as he didn't want anyone who would question his dreams in his life again. We started growing closer, and he did some super cute things, such as cheering me on during skating practice and bringing me hot chocolate to warm me up. I was enjoying getting to know Tom, but unfortunately, not everyone was a part of our fan club. No matter what I said, Tiff wouldn't believe that he was anything other than a bad boy. She would send me endless texts just to force me to choose between Tom and her. I knew ever since Tom appeared, I spent less time with her, but she was being too much. To top it off, she even lied about being injured during practice to ruin my date. I gave Tiff the cold shoulder after that. She needed to reflect on her actions. One day I was sorting out my locker when Rachel, one of the most popular girls in our team, aka Tiff's rival, approached me and asked me to join her group. But what about Tiff? Tiff always told me that Rachel's no good, and what's wrong? Do you have to ask for Tiffany's permission before befriending someone? Or what? Aren't you more famous than she is? Right! I need to stop being seen as her sidekick. I have my own choice, my own friends. So I agreed to join Rachel's group. And I gotta admit, it's pretty sweet being with a popular clique. And on the other hand, dating the cutest boy. Spending all this time with Tom made me realize something. I had feelings for him. Real feelings. Pretty soon I found I couldn't help but babble about Tom all the time to Rachel. Oh, honey, you're so cute. But I don't think you should keep seeing that guy. Huh? Why? Okay, I see. Now you're acting like Tiff too. No, I mean, there's a rumor that he's dating someone behind your back. Tiff. I saw them looking cozy together. What? No way! But Tiff did seem jealous, and she did ruin my date with Tom, so maybe there was some truth to this. Rachel's words were bugging me, so after school, I went to Tiff's house to ask her about it. That's when I saw Tiff crying in Tom's arms. Rachel was right. Tiff and Tom were together. I left before either of them saw me. Sobbing, I texted Tom ending our fake relationship and blocked both numbers. The next day at school, everyone was gossiping about how Tom had left me for Tiff. And worst of all, being the giant I was, I couldn't hide away from it. Even Rachel and her group turned on me. What's wrong? Have you fallen off your high horse? Once an ugly duckling, always an ugly duckling. I couldn't bear staying there and watching them laughing at me, so I left school and went back home. I wasn't going back there, and no one could make me. I locked myself in my room and refused to leave it, until...
Is this because of that Tom? Pumpkin, I'll teach him a lesson.
I reluctantly opened the door.
Mindy, you look terrible. What's happened?
It all became too much, and I ended up blurting everything out to Dad. I'm a joke. No one takes me seriously because of how I look. No boys like me, no one wants to be my friend, and no one believes I can skate.
Pumpkin, you got into one of the top sports schools out there. That means you're a talented skater, regardless of what anyone else says, including me. Fame is just temporary. Look at me, once a world champion, but now just a beer-bellied man whose sole life purpose is to raise my pumpkin.
Dad.
All right, you're too strong to let these dummies knock you down. Got it?
Dad was right. I couldn't give up on my dreams because of other people's opinions. So, the next day I returned to school and ignored all the gops and jibes. On seeing Tom and Tiff together, I stared over them and carried on walking. This was the first step in cutting toxic people out of my life and learning to love myself. Which is why, when the teacher asked for volunteers for the skating competition, as Tiff put up her hand, so did I. We all know you only did that so you can face off Tiff. They could think what they wanted. I wasn't backing down. Then my phone beeped. It was a message from Rachel asking me to meet her outside. As soon as I reached her, she started asking me all these questions, as if she cared. Suddenly worried for me? Where's your sarcastic smirk? I'm sorry for the other day. Everyone was staring at me, so I had to play along with them. Trust me, I would never look down on you. Okay, I didn't expect this. Anyway, this is Alex. I don't want you to be the only one without a skating partner, so I found him for you. Forgive me? She seemed so genuine that I couldn't not believe her. I was once in her place, scared of the judgment and peer pressure, so I knew how it felt. Maybe Rachel did mean well. Besides, I'd already lost Tiff as a friend. I didn't want to be alone. I arrived home to find Tiff already waiting for me. Why are you being besties with Rachel? She ridiculed you in front of everyone. You've changed, Mindy. Do you want me to be the same and be picked on forever? And you're not a great friend either. You just want me to live in your shadow and witness how happy you are with your new boyfriend. What about you? You left me too. I felt stunned. How could she be that upset when she was the one who now had Tom? When I'd calmed down, I thought back to what Tiff had said and wondered if I really had changed. Tiff was always there for me, regardless of what I looked like, but I didn't tell her Tom and I weren't for real, as I guess it made me feel superior. I joined Rachel's group without considering how bad it would make Tiff feel. I realized that I had an inferiority complex toward my own best friend. On the day of the competition, I went to talk to Tiff, but I couldn't find her. I smashed my routine with Alex, but during Tiff's turn, I noticed that something seemed wrong. Then during her spin, I saw her lose her balance and thud! She fell hard and was rushed to the hospital. I rushed over to accompany her there, but Rachel stopped me. Why did you do that with her skates? Was that the reason why you told me to keep it a secret about you sneaking into Tiffany's waiting room? I tried to explain that I didn't do anything, but then the judge announced the results. Because of Tiff's mishap, I'd scored enough to land the last spot in the final round.
I won't work with someone who uses tricks to win. Giant girl, you're on your own.
Everyone started to groan at me, and I began to panic. Why does no one want to believe me? The final round was around the corner, but I couldn't stop worrying. As I stepped onto the ice, I spotted Alex smirking while standing next to Rachel and realized they'd played me. I stood there as still as a statue and too frightened to skate alone. Then the crowd fell silent, and I saw someone wobbly approaching me. Tom!
The rumors about me and Tiff aren't true. Mindy, I like you. So, how about it, bull girl? Will you let this ballet boy be your partner?
Confused yet touched, I nodded.
Now chin up. Look.
And in the stand was Tiff, holding up a banner while screaming, "Mindy, you can do it!" Energized by newfound courage, Tom and I fumbled through our routine. And even though we made loads of mistakes, it didn't matter, as I felt so happy to know that I had Tom and Tiff on my side, and that I hadn't given up. I came last and Rachel won, but as she's receiving the trophy, the judges had some discussion. Turns out, another student had video evidence of Rachel damaging Tiff's skates. As they took the trophy off her, she got angry and shouted, "Obviously I wouldn't want to be friends with a freak like you. I was just using you so I could eliminate Tiff." Her words would have once stung me, but now I didn't care what she had to say, and I hurried off to find Tiff. On seeing her, I gave her a big hug, and she told me the truth. "Sorry I couldn't tell you sooner. Actually, Tom is my half-brother. My dad's a famous skater. He lied that he was single, but he wasn't. He was married. He refused to be a part of my life, and Mom was too afraid to go public about what he did. She struggled with no financial help from him. I resented my dad and presumed Tom would be just like him. I never told you this, as I was embarrassed, but turns out you're right. Tom is actually a great guy." Oh, wow, now everything made sense. All these secrets had led to all this confusion, so we promised never to keep anything from each other again. Thanks to the friends that really care for me, I've learned to love myself, and I use my size as a strength. Being unique isn't a weakness, it's an advantage. And best of all, the people that matter like me just as I am. I was in my room, humming to the latest Harry Styles song and preparing gifts for my new classmates. Balenciaga? Nope, too cheap. Gucci? Louis Vuitton? Before I could make a decision, my dad barged in.
Sally, why did you give money to that scammer?
He's poor, Daddy.
And?
Okay. He said his mom wrote Baby Shark, and you know I like that song. Dad was always nagging me, but she did write the song, right? Anyway, I'm Sally Mayers, the youngest daughter of Frederick Mayers, the CEO of the super successful agency Modeling Sync. I suppose you'll say my life was extravagant, but hey, sharing with others isn't extravagant. Daddy says I should stop worrying about handbags and intern at his company. But how will a hot young thing like me slave away in a boring job, huh? So I moved out and was on the search for my calling in life. And my Prince Charming. One day, I was out shopping when, bump, our eyes met, and I didn't know if it's because of the fall or not, but I felt dizzy seeing his angel face. Then suddenly, he leaned toward me and stole my first kiss.
Sorry about that. I haven't paid my rent, so I couldn't let my landlord see me.
And kids, that's how I met your father. Not yet, but soon to be anyway. A cute guy falling in my arms had to be fate, so I invited him to live in my house while he earned enough to pay his rent. His name's Robert, and he's handsome, a great cook, and he adores animals. He's practically perfect. Except for his mood swings. Sometimes before going out, he'd be making me my favorite oat milk lattes and checking I'm okay. But when returning home, he'd just slump on the couch and order me to make him sandwiches. But hey, even soulmates had the occasional hiccup. I told Daddy and my sister, Mia, how perfect he was, but they were both so negative.
Destined lover or a gold digger?
If this boyfriend of yours is so perfect, then where is he? And, actually, they didn't see Robert's face yet. It's just he got camera fright. I desperately wanted to take some couples pictures, but he dodged every time.
Babes, this face is only for you.
Aw, he was so sweet and super caring. Despite Dad and Mia's disapproval, he still attentively asked about their hobbies and work. He was just perfect. There was nothing to ask more from him. Actually, there was. Come here. Just a secret between you and me. I think Robert's gonna propose to me. These days, he seems fidgeting and nervous. Then one day, Robert asked me to meet him in this expensive restaurant. I was sure this would be it. Gosh, I've dreamt of a wedding with my Prince Charming all my life. Yes, I'd like to be Mrs. Hemmings. Look, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a train ticket.
Sally, my dad's just passed away. I need to go back to my hometown for a while.
Then he got up and never came back. I searched everywhere for him, but it was as if he'd vanished into thin air. I knew he was grieving, but he didn't have to disappear like that. I traveled to his hometown, but everyone all said that Robert Hemmings had died years ago. So, who was my Robert? Did I really know anything about my soulmate? Could Daddy be right about Robert being a gold digger?
Enough of your silliness, Sally. It's time to grow up.
I couldn't go against Dad anymore. I had to go back home and work at the agency. At least I had Mia here. But no, I barely ever saw her. She was really too busy being head of the marketing department to come see me. I felt so lost and wasn't enjoying the job at all. Worst of all, I was still missing Robert so badly that I kept making silly mistakes. Everyone was so mad at me. If only Robert was here, he'd cheer me up. One day, Mia asked me to deliver some outfits for a photo shoot. I arrived to see the shoot was already underway.
Snap that camera, darling, while I'm still young.
Boy, oh boy, that dude was sure full of himself. My curiosity poked out, and I tried to sneak a peek at him. But when I saw who one of the models was, I dropped the clothes in shock. OMG! It was Robert! I charged through the group of people and wrapped my arms around him. Robert! Where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere! But he pushed me away.
Get off me! Who are you? Why are you all over me like a rash? I don't know you.
What? But I'm your girlfriend.
Hey, you wish. Line up first.
Easy there, Tiger. This is Henry, our hottest new model. Henry who? I had no idea what was going on, so I pulled Mia outside. Mia, he looks identical to Robert.
Not every guy is your ungrateful ex.
It's not uncommon for people to look similar. Your infatuation for Robert is making you imagine things. That might be true. She talked with me for a while, then put me in charge of the shoot for her. But I couldn't brush off Robert's image on that Henry guy. Then overheard some whisperings.
Henry might be a newbie, but in the last month, he's had 3 major magazine shoots. Rumor has it, it's down to a secret backer.
Something didn't feel right here. So I decided to dive in deeper to solve the mystery of Robert or not Robert. And I easily became Henry's assistant. Early the next morning, I dressed and eagerly ran to Henry's house. Robert usually slept in, so if Henry was Robert, surely he wouldn't have
We're late!
Huh? Oh, surprise! We're not late, as I changed today's schedule into a charity activity. Then, not letting him have any chance to question, I immediately dragged him to the car. Last night when the sponsor called, I nodded without any hesitation. Just imagine those shiny cheekbones on a soup kitchen flyer for the art and for the community. Only when we arrived at the location, there was just a field full of cows and not a soup can in sight.
Did you donate grass to the cows? Still so gullible.
How do you know I'm gullible?
The staff told me. What gives?
Then Henry walked, leaving me there with the cows. But wait a minute. Those moves had a little too much sachet. Was Robert that feminine before? So how about some of my homemade cake Robert always wolfed down? This is Robert's fave dish, right, Robert? He started coughing and mumbled out that he was so hungry, he would have eaten anything. Sure, Hen. So, let's see what excuses you would make in the cooking show, chef. Your excellent cooking skill is going to give you away, dear Robert. Keep up the great act, then. But my smile faded when I saw Henry breaking the pasta in half, mistaking tomato sauce for hot sauce, and setting a pan on fire, causing everyone to run outside in fright. I sure had to do a lot of apologizing to the producers to get out of that one. I didn't understand why my plan went so wrong. Okay, Robert loved animals. No way he could resist an adorable puppy, so I bought my new dachshund, Cora, into work. But to my surprise, when Cora hurried over to greet him, he's screaming like a banshee and ran along the hallway like being chased by zombies. Is it possible? I might have figured out the truth, but I still wanted to meet him the last time to sort things out. But when he showed up, he seemed different, easygoing and thoughtful, and so Robert.
Since when did you take up this dangerous sport? When your ex left? Are you that mad at him?
I kept missing, and it was so frustrating. It's like I couldn't get anything right.
Come now. Your palms have turned all red.
You're so weird today.
Weird how?
Wouldn't you normally be like this? Or like this? Drop the act. I already know everything.
Know what?
You and my dad are dating, aren't you? You want to be my stepmother in your dreams. I was nuts to think you're my Robert.
What? I don't like your dad?
I didn't want any more of his lies. Only he pulled me back and kissed me. I was still trying to process all of this when he received a call, then ran away, leaving me all alone, like that time. There was no mistaking those lips. He's my Robert. But why did he keep denying it? I needed advice from Mia, but she wasn't home, so I waited in the living room. After a while, the door opened, and I also heard Henry's voice. Why was he here? I immediately hid in the corner, only to see my sister kiss him on the cheek. Henry, my sweet boyfriend. Boyfriend? What? So Dad wasn't Henry's secret backer? It was Mia. But he just kissed me. Was he two-timing me with my own sister? That night, so many thoughts were pecking at my head. So my sister dated my boyfriend? When did they meet? Wait, was that why Robert never wanted to take pictures with me? 'Cause it's more convenient for him to approach Mia? Had he planned everything from the beginning? This hurt so much, but I didn't want to upset Mia. I needed to find out the full details before telling her anything. So at work, I pretended to act normal while cooking up a plan for Henry's upcoming birthday. I knew he was going to brush it off, but I invited all the staff to his place, and of course, he couldn't run anywhere. And his manager, aka me, just accidentally spilled water on him so he'd take his vest off. As predicted, his room key was in his pocket. I went to Henry's room and swiped the card, but it required a password. I had 3 attempts to get this right. I tried Robert's birthday, then mine, but nope. I had one last chance. So, with a shaking hand, I pressed in our anniversary date, and it opened. I rummaged through everything and found a lot of documents about modeling Sync. Then I found something else, a photo of him with him? Right at this moment, someone grabbed my shoulder. I turned and saw Robert, but before I could talk, he flashed me his police badge and arrested me for breaking in. He led me into a dark room, and I heard talking outside. How dumb of you to use your anniversary as the password. Then Robert barged into the room, followed by another Robert?
The truth's out anyway. That's the Robert you're looking for, and his real name is Travis, and I'm Edward, not Henry. We're undercover cops investigating your father.
Turned out, Travis was asked to approach me as Robert first, and his brother Edward sometimes filled his place when he was busy. That's why Robert's temperament was so hot and cold.
But we couldn't anticipate that this kid would actually like you. Love is strictly forbidden in our job, so Robert had to go. So I created Henry and approached the suspect's other daughter to continue the mission. That was the plan until my simp brother went to see you without telling me.
So, the one who kissed me was...
It was me. I just really wanted to see you.
This is crazy! But why my dad? What did he do? Edward revealed that he suspected modeling Sync was a front for human trafficking, and my dad was the brains behind the operation. No way! My daddy is a good man! Edward, he was always kind to you, wasn't he?
People only show you the version they want you to see. Even this silly boy fooled you. What makes you think your cunning father couldn't do the same? Do you know why he's especially interested in Henry? Because he's his next target. I'm sorry, Sally, but it's true. I know it's hard to hear, but we need your help to stop this.
Did my dad really do all these awful things? But that meant my life was a lie. Whether I liked the truth or not, I needed to discover it once and for all. I held my phone in shaking hands and waited for the message, even though I desperately didn't want to receive it. Sticking to Edward's plan, I ran into Dad's office in a panic. Dad, Henry's about to quit. I found a one-way plane ticket to Ontario, and it leaves tonight.
What? It can't be.
But the message just came. Just like Edward calculated, Edward in his Henry disguise was kidnapped and brought to the port to be tracked. So, it's true. My dad's a criminal. Then the police officers who already surrounded that area will arrest him and...
Sally?
Dad, why are you still here?
Sweetie, it's the middle of the night. Where else would I be but home?
Right at that moment, Travis called me.
Edward's tracking device indicates he's moving in the opposite direction of the police ambush.
I know where he's going. You should go straight there. I asked Dad to drive me there. If Dad wasn't behind it, then it had to be someone who worked directly with the models and knew that Henry was about to leave tonight. The only person who got all 3 was Mia. We arrived at the same time as Travis and the police. Travis rang the bell, and the door opened on Mia and her minions.
What? But we just took him.
Sally? Dad? Mia was still as sharp as ever, but still, the police were one step ahead.
It's you?
Travis reached me first and protected me from her while Edward pulled me aback.
You tricked me!
We have literally everything. Why did you have to go down this route?
You're always Dad's favorite, while I've always been a spare part. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into modeling sync, yet one day it will be all yours. I'd rather burn and ruin the agency I've worked so hard for than see it in others' hands. No, you got it wrong. I love you both.
They arrested Mia and found the kidnapped models. What Mia did was wrong, but she was still my sister, so Dad and I visited her in prison.
Mia, I'm sorry for everything. I thought you were stronger than Sally, and when Mom passed away, that she needed me more than you did. I know it's late, but I promise I will make it up to you.
As we left, I saw Edward and Travis. Then Travis pulled me aside, apologizing for using my feelings to aid their investigation. I still love Travis, but I couldn't get over that. He deceived me, and I wasn't going to let anyone treat me like a gullible fool ever again. So I quit my job at the company and decided to leave my comfy, overprotected nest to experience the real world. After everything that had happened, I maintained my own belief that after the storm, the sun always comes up. I studied abroad, participated in multiple charity organizations, and became a teacher in remote areas. And one time, while I was teaching in a remote jungle location, I bumped into a familiar face.
Don't worry, I'm not running into you again this time.
It was a Saturday at my environmental club. I saw my friends chatting, so I hurried over to join them. What about Walmart? Walmart? You guys hang out there? Can I come too? I love looking at wall stuff. Huh? Why was everyone gawping at me like an alien? Oh, Walmart! Duh, I was just fooling around. Anyway, you guys go have fun. There. You're probably thinking, has this girl been living under a rock? How can she not know what Walmart is? Well, now I do. Hi, I'm Jasmine, the only child of the biggest hotelier in New York. Growing up rich, I was used to lavish parties and being around wealthy families. That's how I met my girls, Katie and Ashley, daughters of my parents' business partners. I may have lived a privileged lifestyle, but I was actually happiest when I got to work in my art studio. I had an anonymous Tumblr account where I shared some of my finest oil paintings. There, I'd been talking to this one fan for a while, Daniel. He's such a hottie, and he loves art too. But best of all, I just found out we're going to the same high school. Yay! So when the school year started, I asked to meet Daniel in person. Oh, that must be him! I was about to greet him when suddenly a girl appeared. Wow, there sure are a lot of rich girls around here. I swear I saw a few of them ogling you.
Ugh, please. You know how I despise those spoiled princesses the most? I just can't stand being close to them.
Oh no! Daniel hates rich girls? I can't let him see me today. Not like this. So I texted him saying something had come up. Over the next few days, I found out that Daniel was Mr. Cool with all the straight A's, currently the president of the environmental club, and he's single. So that's Haley, just a close friend of his. I was determined to conquer Daniel's heart. I just needed to figure out a way to get around his whole anti-wealth thing. Aha! I'd pretend to be some normal girl and join Daniel's environmental club. In the meantime, I'd make him fall for me before telling him the truth about my Tumblr account. Of course, I couldn't let Katie and Ashley know about this either. And here I am, at the environmental club. I immediately approached Daniel with candies, but you know how terrible rappers are for the planet. Besides, Dan doesn't like sweets. At lunchtime, out of habit, I ordered fast food. But as I went to fetch it, I saw everyone gossiping amongst themselves about the terrible person who dared to order food in single-use plastic. Oh, silly me. I totally forgot I was in an environmental club. I quickly lied that I'd already eaten despite my stomach giving out some monster growls. And today's incident was yet another embarrassing moment I created for myself at the club. Oh, Walmart! Duh, I was just fooling around. Anyway, you guys go have fun. There. Learning to be a normal girly is hard, but dealing with my rich friends was even harder. I'd been so busy at the club I totally forgot I still had the recycling bag on me. Not mine! Another time, I nearly got caught while trying to raise funds with other club mates. I ended up hiding in the restroom for an hour straight. But all the suffering was worth it, as I got to hang around with Daniel. Daniel, I got this for you.
Oh, this is for me? You're a great painter, aren't you? Thanks. By the way, meet Andy. He's in the Eco Bus Stop Poster Design Group, and you're gonna work with him from now on. Not like a rich kid like him needs the bus.
Andy, what are you doing here?
I could say the same about you. My dad just married Daniel's mom, so I'm here to support my new stepbrother.
Ooh, so Andy, whom I met through fancy parties with our parents in the past, was in Daniel's inner circle. This was wonderful news. So I confided in him all about my plan to get with Daniel. So, any chance he could help a girl out?
Sure. I've always wanted Daniel to have a girlfriend anyway. He seriously needs to chill out a bit.
From then on, Andy started teaching me about the ordinary life. One time, he insisted on taking me to the amusement park for the first time. Why do people take the bus anyway? Why don't they just drive a car?
Not everyone can afford a car, Jazz.
So, when will the bus come to pick me up?
The bus doesn't come to you. You have to go to the bus stop.
Huh? A bus stop? What is it?
It's a corner with a bench. You'll see.
The bus was stuffy, and there was a funny smell coming from somewhere behind me. Where's my champagne and hot towels?
Jazz, this is a bus, not a plane. You don't get those things here.
Later, the bus suddenly jolted and I flew forward, but Andy caught me in his arms. I peered up at him and my heart almost skipped a beat. He looked so fine from this angle. Finally, we made it to the amusement park, and it turns out it was so much fun. I went on these twirling teacups until I felt dizzy and threw some balls at a tower of cans. On the way home, Andy insisted on joining this massive line to try some tacos. I'd never waited this long for food before. But oh boy, they were tastier than a Michelin star food! Best of all, Andy also helped me get close to Daniel. Only I got so nervous. The trees are leafy, aren't they? I mean, all trees are leafy. Apart from trees in the winters, they're not very leafy.
You're just the right combination of cute and awkward.
Holy moly, he thought I was cute. I was ready for my sweet first kiss when Haley butted in and started boring Daniel with talk of some project. Later that day, Haley pulled me into the corner.
Who are you, and why join this club?
I'm just an environmental enthusiast and a nature lover. This girl is everywhere, third-wheeling with me and Daniel. But it's okay, as Andy had invited me to his house to work on a poster for the club. And I mean, I could conveniently bump into Daniel there too. Oh, some of the paintings here were amazing. I didn't realize Andy was an art fan. We discussed some of our favorite artists, and then I showed him my finest paintings on my Tumblr account.
Wow, I can tell you truly have a knack for transitional blending. Actually, I dreamed of becoming an artist, but then Mom left me and Dad to travel the world and fill her own painting dreams. I didn't want to make Dad any sadder than he already was, so I stopped painting.
I told him to pursue his passion no matter what, and invited him to join me in my art studio whenever he wanted. Suddenly, it was so hot in here, I needed a glass of water before I melted. I walked into the kitchen to find Daniel daydreaming out of the window. Hey, is everything all right?
Eco Bus Stop has hit a dead end due to the lack of funding.
I knew I could just give him some of my allowance, but that would mean revealing that I was a rich girl. So I decided to cheer him up by pulling funny faces and said it would all be okay. But then...
You don't understand. I have to make this project successful no matter what. Only then I can get a scholarship into my dream university.
His attitude stunned me. This Daniel was completely different from the fan I talked to. But maybe he was only acting up because Eco Bus Stop means a lot to him. So, the next day, I decided to give Daniel his most wanted gift, an envelope with my monthly allowance. Just as I was about to reach Daniel, Haley stopped me.
I know your secret already, rich girl.
What? No! You must be dreaming stuff up.
Oh, really?
So you don't know these people?
Aren't they the troublemakers from the rich kid clique?
Yeah, they are. Why would I be friends with those spoiled brats? Spoiled brats?
Jazz, how could you say that?
Your whole Save the Trees act didn't work on me. You were acting fake from the start, so I followed you and saw you with your rich friends at the luxury outlet. That's correct. Jasmine Father owns more hotels than your dumb club members' houses combined. I don't know what she's doing here. Next thing I knew, Daniel walked off without saying a word, so I ran after him.
I knew it so well that rich people like you ain't no good. You could have funded the project, or at least helped me ask your father for a loan, but you did nothing. You disgust me.
I only did it because I like you! Right then, Katie and Ashley caught me up. I'm sorry for what I said earlier, girls. It was my fault. I shouldn't have said such nasty things about you guys. I didn't think a noble lady like you would ever lower yourself for a pity boy like him. If you want back in the clique, then cut ties with your low-rent friends. Maybe my club friends were right. We've been so shallow and materialistic. We should change, not them. You! How dare you, Jasmine! Jasmine! So, Daniel didn't want to see my face while Katie kicked me out of the group. For 1 week straight, I shut myself in my room. It was awful, but it did give me time to think more clearly and come to realize I should stop chasing Daniel. Instead, I want to be more active at the environmental club as I truly love contributing to the greater good. So, the next morning, I went to the beach cleanup with the club. Everyone looked so shocked to see me, especially Andy.
You're back! I'm so glad you came. How have you been?
Then we chatted happily while cleaning up the trash with everyone. Only Daniel and Haley were visibly annoyed, but I just couldn't care less. From then on, I was busy helping prepare for the Shark Tank show to raise capital for EcoBus Stop. One day, Daniel approached me and apologized for overreacting that day. He went on to explain that his mom's been labeled a gold digger ever since she married Andy's dad. He wanted to show that, unlike Andy, who had been born into privilege, he didn't need money, and that he could get a scholarship into his dream college through EcoBus Stop. Hearing this, I softened and forgave him. After that, we became friends again, and I think he was flirting with me.
Hey, Jazz, you look nice today. You've got such beautiful eyes.
But for some reason, every time I was with him, all I thought about was Andy. Time passed by, then came the Shark Tank qualifying round. The whole club nervously watched Daniel present the project. And guess what? Our project was selected for the final round. Right after that, Daniel followed me outside.
Jasmine, will you be my girlfriend?
I was so confused that I mindlessly nodded, but somehow I didn't feel happy at all. On my first date with Daniel, I found my mind wandering back to Andy. Worse still, I felt like he was avoiding me. A few days later, I threw my 16th birthday. All my friends from the environmental club were there, except for Andy. Later, Daniel went on stage.
Hey everyone, I prepared this special song for my girlfriend Jasmine. You say you're sorry, but it's too late now. So save it, get gone, shut up. 'Cause if you think I care about you now, girl, I don't give a fudge.
Next thing I knew, everyone was gasping and giving me pitiful looks.
So this is for you, Jasmine, you useless, rich, spoiled little brat. Happy birthday, you're dumped.
I froze, but tried to pull myself together. Yes, I'm rich, but never useless and spoiled. People are more than just their social class, you know. Suddenly, I saw a fist flying through the air. It was Andy punching Daniel.
You jerk, you'll pay for this.
Then he leads me away. Andy sat me down on a bench, and I just couldn't stop my tears.
Stop crying already. He doesn't deserve you, he never did.
But I couldn't deal with this right now, so I turned and ran off without uttering a word. After crying myself to sleep that night, I knew the next day I had to be tough, so I returned to the club to get my stuff.
Hey, I'm sorry about what happened last night. I never thought he could do such terrible things to you. And I'm sorry for being harsh on you this whole time. I know now that was wrong of me.
It's okay. I guess it was just my fault from the start. I ignored the fact that we were incompatible just because he was my fan.
Daniel is your fan?
Yeah, from my Min Arts account on Tumblr.
Oh God, that's you? I'm the fan, not Daniel.
Oh, that makes sense. I guess I misunderstood everything all along. But why is there a photo and info of Daniel? Haley admitted to having a crush on Daniel.
But now that I see his true colors, he's just not worth it anymore, you know? I'm gonna leave this club too. It's Daniel who needs to leave. Just wait and see.
Despite still being in a mood, I showed up to Shark Tank's final round to see the project I contributed to. And yes, our EcoBus Stop project finally got the funding approval, when suddenly,
I'll invest in the project, but I don't want Daniel as my partner. I want it to be Haley, as she's the real mastermind behind this.
All the club members shouted in union to support Haley and boo at Daniel.
What about our deal? You said your father would invest in my project if I dumped Jasmine publicly.
I don't know either. Maybe it's because you really suck. Moments later, Katie's father got between them.
Fortunately, Andy filled me in on Haley's contribution to the project. Otherwise, I would have made a terrible mistake by funding an opportunist instead. As for you, Katie, how could you do that to a friend? You will receive your punishment at home.
After the show ended, I went for a walk with Andy. So, this was your plan all along, huh?
Daniel went too far this time. I need to teach him a lesson, and Jazz, I've liked you since we first started hanging out, but I stupidly agreed to help you get with Daniel.
This is so sudden. I don't know, Andy.
I promise to take care of you from now on. Please give me a chance.
Andy, actually, I like you too, but my stupid self kept telling me to pursue Daniel, and all this time I've been thinking about you a lot, but I just need some time.
That's all I need to know.
Hi, I'm Nuella. I was raised by a single mom alongside my twin sister, Nancy. Mom was the CEO of a beauty company she managed to establish after our soldier dad passed away and was obsessed with making us look our best to attract customers. But Mom just didn't understand that I wasn't a fan of plastering my face with makeup. Even body lotions made me feel like a slippery eel. My sister Nancy, on the other hand, was a beauty enthusiast, just like Mom. Like one time when I was 13, Mom broke a whole crate of eggs just to use as a face mask. All right, girls, it's face pamper time. While she was busy applying the yucky stuff all over Nancy's face, I snuck off to the kitchen and scrambled the rest. Mom then showed up with Nancy in their ridiculous masks. It's your turn, Noella. You fried them. Well, a glowing stomach is better than a glowing face, Mom. But it makes you prettier. Makes your skin glow. Listen here, Noella. I don't know what your deal is reading stupid books all the time. Blasphemy! Books are life, Mom. And I told you, I want to be a novelist. A novelist? Do you want to be broke forever? It's the most useless job ever. That's right. All you need to do is invest in yourself to look pretty, and a rich man will surely sweep you off your feet. Why can't you be more like Nancy? How about trying to educate yourself and make your own money instead of waiting for Mr. Moneybags? Writing stories was my jam. Creating worlds in my head and birthing characters gave me more joy than anything. And Mom thought I was kidding until our 18th birthday. All right, make a wish. I'll grant it. I wish for a change of wardrobe. Done. And you, Noella? I wish to be a full-time writer, Mom, just like Stephen King or J.K. Rowling. Ha! Sorry, Noella, but that wish is never coming true. You're running my business, and that's final. How can you decide my life for me? At least Nancy's got her beauty. She can snag a rich man. But you're not as pretty. I'm just looking out for you. That hurt. Mom, I'm an adult. Seeing that I wasn't willing to budge, Mom turned icy on me. She made me pay house bills, and unable to bear it, I moved out. But being a writer wasn't all that rosy. No one wanted to publish my book. And at home, things became way too tough. I couldn't even afford a proper meal after already having lost my electricity in the house. I didn't even have any choice but to find a part-time job so I could support myself. I got hired as a cashier at Eggers Market, a billion-dollar chain store across the country. And that was how I met Keith, a fellow cashier. Sweet guy, but... Hey, Noella. Maybe this weekend we can, I don't know, go to the arcade? Thank you. I mean, I'm not a game person. Sorry. Next time. Bye. I like hanging out with Keith too, but with my life messier than a spaghetti explosion, dating was not on my menu. Missing my family intensified as Christmas approached. Then, one evening, out of the blue, Mom called to spill the beans that Nancy was tying the knot. She wanted the family together for Christmas, one last time before the big day. I was excited to see them again. Little did I know the life-changing drama that lay ahead for me. On my way to catch a cab for the ride to Mom's house, I smacked into a guy. Get out of the way, little girl. I caught a glimpse of a snake tattoo on his arm. Totally freaked me out. Those guys just robbed one of Edgar's Market stores. Are you okay? What? Which one? The one on Broadway. It's like someone is targeting Edgar. True that. It wasn't the first time Edgar's stores had been robbed. I prayed the one I worked at never became a victim. In minutes, I was knocking on her front door, and that's when Nancy and her boyfriend arrived. Before I could even say a greeting, Mom swung the door open and zeroed in on Nancy as if I were invisible. Nancy, my baby, I missed you. Is this your car? That's Ryan's car, Mom. No way! Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the family. Come on in. You must be tired from driving. Mom hadn't even acknowledged my presence. Once inside, I forced aside the small jab of jealousy to catch up with Nancy. Nancy, you look good. Thanks. How about you? Are you Stephen King or something now? I hope it's something bigger than the family's business. Well, I got a well-paying job at Panda Publishing Company. What? That's like one of the biggest publishing companies in the States. Why didn't you tell me when I called? It's a Christmas surprise. Oh, Noella, I'm so happy. I got this for you, Mom. Can we go eat? I'm hungry. Okay, don't judge me for lying. Nancy was practically oppressing me with her achievements. While we were having lunch, Mom began asking Ryan questions like he was in a job interview. So, Nancy says you come from a really big family? Yeah, my dad is Edgar, you know, the CEO of Eggers Market. At that bombshell, my mouth rejected the food in it. Noella, are you okay? Drink water quick. I'm okay, Mom. Goodness gracious. Ryan was the CEO's son? The big boss of the company I worked at? He doesn't seem to recognize me, though. It makes sense because we've never crossed paths because my department was in the basement of the organizational hierarchy. But now how could I go to work with him under the same roof without getting busted? I spent most of that night thinking of a solution. And before morning, I had a master plan plan in place, and the plan first started with Keith ringing our doorbell.
Hello, is Lady Nuella in? I'm Keith, her chauffeur.
Chauffeur? Oh, I see you met my driver. Just one of the many perks working at Panda Publishing. See ya. As soon as we left the house, I changed into my work clothes. Keith, you're a lifesaver.
What's with all this drama? What's wrong with telling them you're a cashier?
You won't understand. I can't let Nancy have the upper hand all the time. She has everything going well in her life, and I have nothing.
You have me, Nuella.
Do you want to get a coffee quick?
Sure.
That same day, we were busy at work when Ryan strolled in acting all bossy to everyone. Quick, Keith, cover me.
What's going on? It's just the CEO's son.
He's the one Nancy is dating. If he spots me, he'll blow my cover.
Are you sure he's dating Nancy? 'Cause he's with our manager right now.
Ryan was two-timing my sister with our manager? I peered over the counter, and that's when I saw Ryan cornering Katie the blondie. I approached the shelf where Ryan was, pretending to rearrange while eavesdropping.
Starlight in, 8 p.m.
Don't be late, handsome. So this guy was three-timing my sister, the manager, and Katie? I was so shocked I almost busted my cover, but I escaped before I could be seen. I rushed home to tell Nancy. Nancy, Ryan is a womanizer. I saw him with a girl. You saw him? Where? How? Are you stalking my fiancé? No, Shoot, I couldn't tell her I worked for his family's company. I heard people say bad stuff about him, you know, really bad stuff.
Listening to rumors, are we? You should know better than that.
I bet her jealousy didn't let her think straight. Instead of being happy for me, you're busy snooping around desperate for dirt on my fiancé.
Really, Nuella? If I knew you would ruin the spirit of Christmas for all of us, I wouldn't have invited you. Apologize now.
No way! He's a snake. I swear,
Keep your mouth shut. If you continue with any of this nonsense, you'd better pack your things out of here. Now get out.
It was like the floor was torn from beneath me. I felt rejected, and then Ryan came and showed me my work ID. How did you get it?
So, you work at Edgar's store? What happened to Panda Publishing?
None of your business. Get out!
You have some guts calling me out when you're such a faker yourself. Pull that stunt again, and I'm telling everyone that you're just a lowly cashier.
Chuckling evilly, Ryan walks off. Trapped and trying to ease the tension, I apologized to Ryan and Nancy, giving Ryan the benefit of the doubt. But that night, he threw my doubts back at my face while I was washing dishes.
Look, I know why you're so frowny.
I apologized. Now get off of me.
But you got the hots for me, huh? If it eases your vibe, I'm into you too. You're so unique. Let's go out. Nancy won't know.
I resisted the urge to smack him with a pot. It was official. He was a scumbag, and Nancy needed to know. So I decided to play along. Perhaps I could implicate him and show Nancy evidence of his evilness. Oh, Ryan, how did you know? Since I set my eyes on you, I've been dreaming about us.
Then let's go out tomorrow night. I'll text you the address.
Bingo. And that's how I found myself dressing up for a date after work the next day.
Whoa, you look dashing. Where are you off to?
Keith's compliment had butterflies fluttering in my stomach. For the first time in a while, I felt beautiful. Thanks. I'm going out.
Out? Like a date?
Yes, with Ryan. Let me explain. I told Keith everything I planned, but nothing I said made sense to him.
This is risky. What if Ryan wants to hurt you?
I'll be fine and ready to take that jerk down. I got to the restaurant early, but I spotted Ryan with the guy I recognized as one of Edgar's store robbers. Same build, same snake tattoo. Intrigued and concerned, I discreetly approached, phone recorder ready.
Tell the boys. We hit the one on New City Street tonight. That old man Edgar dared to mess with me. Let's see how he likes his stores raided. Yes, boss. We will be ready.
Ryan hired these gangsters to rob his own stores? This guy's a psychopath.
Nuella, baby, you look great.
Unlike Keith, Ryan's compliment made my skin crawl, and his hug made my stomach churn. You're robbing your father's store? Was that also your doings, having the store on Broadway robbed the other day?
It's my future store. Consider it taking an advanced paycheck. You won't tell. You know what's at stake.
Too bad for you. Right now, I think my sister's safety is more important than my pride. Ryan tried to grab me, but I bit his arm and ran away, leaving him cradling it in pain. I raced home to spill the beans about Ryan. Nancy, Ryan is... But I was greeted by a hot slap. That's for trying to steal my man. What? I wasn't... My friend saw you at a restaurant with him. I was just faking it.
You know what else? I called Panda Publishing today, but they said there was no one by the name Nuella working there. Turned out you're working at a store as a cashier.
Yes, I did, and I'm really sorry. But look, Ryan is dangerous. He works with a gang that robs his father's stores.
How can we trust you? If you can lie about your job, you could lie about anything else too. Why do you keep disappointing me?
Their palpable disappointment felt like the world crashed on my shoulders. There was only one person left to turn to. I'm going to meet his dad to expose him. I have a recording of him admitting to crime. He will regret messing with me.
I'm not sure that's a good idea since he knows you know. Let's think of something less dangerous. I'll grab you something to calm down, okay?
While he went to fetch me the calming thing, I couldn't wait, so I sneaked out and headed straight to Edgar's headquarters. Hello, I would like to meet the CEO of Edgar. It's urgent. Someone is planning to rob his store. I have evidence.
Evidence, huh? Come with me.
The security guard led me to an elevator. Then we stopped in front of a room.
Boss, someone's here to see the CEO for the robbery of the stores. She has evidence.
The door opened, and instead of Ryan's dad, I was looking at Ryan? I tried to run, but they caught me and pushed me in. I was so scared. I should have listened to Keith.
You little witch! Because of you, Nancy dumped me, and now you're reporting to my dad. How dare you?
She made the right choice. You're the furthest thing from boyfriend material. The manic look in Ryan's eyes told me I was a goner. But suddenly, Keith burst in like a superhero with 2 policemen and saved the day.
Freeze! The police! Are you okay?
I nodded and hugged Keith in relief. His broad shoulders calmed me down, and I knew I was safe.
You might as well swap your ears for something else.
Sorry.
You never listen. Always so impatient.
I know. Yada yada yada.
Why are you so stubborn?
I shut him up with a kiss, and it felt so right. Turned out, Ryan's dad had kicked him out before because of his prodigal habits. But instead of turning over a new leaf, Ryan formed a gang targeting his dad's stores. Now, Edgar planned to give him a taste of jail to cool off. News of my heroic escapade spread like wildfire, reaching my family before I could even get home. The moment I stepped into the house, Mom and Nancy hugged me like I'd been away for a year. I am so sorry for misjudging you all this time. You were just looking out for me, but I was so shocked and heartbroken I got mad at you when actually Ryan was the jerk all along. I love you, sis. And I'm so sorry for lying. I just wanted Mom to be proud of me too.
But I'm proud of you, Nuella. After the hardship I suffered losing your dad, money became the paramount thing in my life. I thought it was all there is to happiness, so I pushed you guys to get it. But now, I realize I was wrong. Imagine if Nancy never married Ryan. How unhappy she'd have been. Whether you're a cashier or Stephen King, I don't care. I just want you girls to be happy. Merry Christmas, my love.
It was the best moment of my life. Finally, we could understand each other. Our reconciliation had to be a good luck charm, because on Christmas Eve, I got a call from a movie producer who wanted to adapt my novel to a movie. The contract was gonna pay millions. Finally, I was making my big break as an author. We celebrated that special Christmas with a big feast. And boy was my mom and Nancy surprised when Keith showed up. What's your chauffeur doing here? Chauffeur? No, everyone meet Keith, my boyfriend, who, by the way, was just promoted to the overall manager of Edgar's Market. Yep, that had been decided by Edgar, the CEO. Welcome to the family, Keith.
Voila! Finally done! The most exhausting part of moving mansion was having to rearrange my Birkin collection. But at least my walk-in closet is bigger than my last one, so now I need to pick out the perfect outfit for school tomorrow. First impressions are crucial. This is my favorite fit at the moment, but let's get a second opinion. Mom, Dad, what do you think? Wellstone High's new Queen Bee's incoming! Adele, there you are. I bought you a few new items. Ooh, goody! I love surprises. What is this? Mom, are these for the maids? Honey Pie, it appears that well-off residents in this neighborhood have been targeted by a dangerous robbers gang. For your safety, you'd better tone down your outfits, at least until they catch the thieves. I know it's not ideal, but safety first. Come on, Pumpkin, isn't this shirt adorable? No, it's not. I'm not being seen dead in that rag. My parents were probably just exaggerating. Let's see. It seems some girl had her Hermes bag stolen, another her Cartier bracelet, and some guy his Rolex. No, I couldn't let some crooks take my precious babies. The next morning, I trudged downstairs in those awfully bland clothes. Ugh, they were itchy and smelled so bad. Darling, this will only be for a little while. You're our only angel, and we simply couldn't bear it if anything were to happen to you. Fine. Where's my chauffeur? I want to take the Porsche today. At least that can still save my grand entrance. Absolutely not. If you do that, you may as well be wearing a beacon to attract those thieves. I think it's best if you take the bus. The bus? Before I could protest anymore, Mom kissed me on the forehead, burst into tears, and ran off hysterically. Have a wonderful day, sweetie. Great. So much worrying for me. Now I had no choice but to find the bus stop, wherever that was. I wandered around the corner when suddenly a deafening scream came from behind me. Thief! Watch out! I spun around to see a guy running towards me, so I immediately sped off. But soon I felt the thief reach me. Terrified, I crouched down, raised my bag. Here, take it! Don't hurt me! But no reply. I peered up and saw the guy was ahead of me and was restraining a bad guy. Turns out he wasn't the thief, and the actual thief wasn't after me. Oops, how embarrassing. Let's just leave ASAP, but I ended up crashing into some flashy car. Are you okay? It's the guy who just caught the thief. I froze. He's so handsome. I was about to reply when the car door swung open, and this angry rich guy stormed over to me. Are you blind? You scratched my car. Pay up. Leave her alone, Bernie. He's handsome and kind, totally different from that arrogant Bernie guy. Turns out he's called Roy. We all go to the same school. Better still, Roy offered to drive me there in his fancy car. What a shame that I bumped into a hottie looking like a mess. If only he knew the real me, he'd fall for me hard. We're made for each other. We even have matching cars. We arrived at school to a bunch of fangirls waiting to greet Roy. Makes sense. He's handsome and oh so rich. What's not to like? Roy told them I was new here, but they didn't seem so pleased to see me. Roy, it's so sweet you're helping out the less fortunate. Ugh, these peasants! If only they knew the real me. To prove to Roy that I was so much better than those other girls the next day, I snuck my designer clothes to school to get changed. When I spotted Roy, I hurried over to dazzle him, but that annoying fangirl Maya interrupted us again. Nice try, new girl, but your knockoff clothes won't impress anyone. You shouldn't judge someone by their clothes. That's very kind of you, Roy. But we both know that only a Chanel girly like me would be a good match for you. Everyone started to make a fuss, but Roy just shooed them away to leave. Ugh, thanks to those wannabes, I'd missed my chance with him. After class, I changed back into my boring plain clothes ready for the bus home. What is this tacky fabric? Suddenly, Roy passed by. Cute shirt. I think it suits you much better. There's nothing wrong with dressing down. It brings out one's natural beauty better. Wow, it seems that rich boy Roy wasn't a show-off. What a blessing in disguise this pretending to be poor was. Roy clearly liked me more this way, so I should keep it up. Once, I pushed a bike to the end of the street and waited for Roy to pass by, so I could make out it was broken and ask for a lift. It's definitely not because I don't know how to ride a bike. Over the next few days, I clung to Roy. I told him how I didn't know anyone at school yet, or where anything was, as an excuse to get him to take me to the canteen. But look at the food. Really? Are we supposed to eat this? Oh, we've never gotten to eat stuff like this at home. Looks yummy! Luckily, Roy felt sorry for me even more and just caringly explained the menu. The next day, I brought in my own lunchbox with Roy's favorite, mac and cheese, which obviously was made by my chef, but he doesn't need to know that. He clearly enjoyed it, but then commented, Adele, you shouldn't waste your money and effort on me like that. Please just spend it on yourself instead. Even though he was wealthy, he was so thoughtful of others. How come I'd never thought of things this way? On the weekend, I went to a fair my parents were sponsoring in a nearby town. I wandered off by myself and suddenly spotted a familiar face selling caramel apples with some kids. Oh no, Roy! What was he doing here? He couldn't see me all dressed up like this. Before I could dart away, his eyes locked directly on mine. Roy! Hello? Why are you looking at me so strangely? This dress. It's handmade. And, my mom found these shoes somewhere. Enough about me. Why are you here? Oh, I'm volunteering at an orphanage. The kids, they're the ones that grew these apples. Oh my god, could this guy be any cuter? Even though he's loaded, he's so down to earth and humble and he wants to make a difference. I really have to learn a lot from him. Later, I took the bus back to town with Roy. We continued chatting even after stepping off the bus, but then this convertible pulled up alongside us. Ugh, it was Bernie and Maya. Oh no, don't let her drag you down like that, baby. Where's your Rolls Royce?
What's this? Isn't this Chanel's archive? Adele, are you?
Yeah, right? This is a fake one. Now, please, leave. I grabbed Roy's arm and pulled him the opposite way.
Adele, are you okay discrediting your image in front of Bernie like that? I mean, he's popular and rich. Everyone wants to impress him.
I'm not that kind of social climber. He's such a conceited, bossy jerk. Unlike you. Roy seemed touched by my words, as he invited me to go to the grape farm with him next weekend. Okay, so I thought Roy had invited me here for some relaxation and fresh air. I didn't expect to be made to carry out tasks. This was probably his way of challenging me, and no chance I was going to fail it. The workers here are immigrants from different countries, but thanks to my extensive traveling, I know quite a bit of foreign languages, enough to ask them to show me what to do. And it just so happens that my parents are obsessed with vintage wines, so I know my Chardonnay from my Cabernet Sauvignon. Oh, these grapes will make a fine Malbec. N'est-ce pas, Pierre? Oh, I taught myself different languages and watched various documentaries to improve my skill set. It's nothing. Later, Roy needed to re-roof the barn, so he climbed up a ladder while I stayed below and passed him tools. But the ladder began to wobble, and he screamed at me to jump back. But instead, I stayed there and held out my arms to catch him. Are you okay? That was dangerous. Why didn't you step away? I couldn't watch you get hurt. Also, to have you falling for me would be everything I ever wanted. We rested in the corner, and that's when Roy told me that he liked me. I think you're one of a kind, but I don't want there to be secrets between us. I like you too, and that's true. We should have zero secrets. So, I want to come clean. My family's actually rich. Super rich. I'm sorry for not letting you know sooner. What about you, Roy? Do you have any secrets? Actually, my parents own this farm. Only the workers don't know about this, so please don't tell them. Aw, humble Roy. He's really the sweetest. He was also very understanding about the reason why I had to hide my true background. Finally, the gang leader of the robberies was caught. Things seemed to be back to normal, and this meant I could publicly go back to being me again. Everyone looked at me with different eyes. Only, Roy didn't seem all that impressed. When I invited him to my favorite restaurant, he told me he didn't like those stuffy places. Plus, he had too much work at the farm. I really wanted to go on a proper date with Roy, but I suppose just being with him was enough. So I agreed to help him out at the farm. As we waited for my chauffeur to pick us up, someone leaped out of a bush and snatched my gold necklace. As I gripped my bare neck in shock, Roy darted after them and grabbed it back. I noticed the robber say something to Roy before he fled. I later asked Roy about it, but he just shrugged it off. The next day at school, a woman in tatty clothes ran in, saying she urgently needed to find her son. When she saw Roy, she rushed towards him. "Oh, here you are! I thought something happened to you! Someone told me you were in trouble!" Everyone began chattering. "Roy, you're wealthy. Why don't you buy your mom some nice clothes?" He looked dumbfounded, then muttered, "I'm not rich. I lied." "What? Why? You always said money didn't matter, but you live in this facade?" Roy avoided my eyes, mumbled out a sorry, then led his mom outside. So this whole time, I didn't know who he truly was? Feeling hurt and deceived, I screamed out that it was over between us. My heart was cracked into two. This was horrible. Then I arrived home to see my parents frantic. Someone had sent them a threatening letter saying, "I will come when you least expect it and take what I want." My parents were terrified that something bad would happen to me, so they hired bodyguards to protect me. The next day, a whole squad showed up, and to my utter shock, amongst them was Roy. "What are you doing here? What's your scheme?" I replied to the advert. "I didn't know it was for you. Please, Adele, I need this job. I could really do with the money." I hated that he'd lied to me, but I couldn't be that heartless. So I agreed that he could be my bodyguard, as long as he knew his limit. Having Roy follow me everywhere really sucked. So when Bernie appeared and asked me out, even though I didn't particularly like the jerk, I agreed to it. It felt good to dress up and be taken to fancy restaurants, and it felt even better to see how raging Roy looked. On my way to the restroom, Roy stopped me. "Bernie's not who you think he is. Please stay away from him." I put his words down to jealousy and shrugged him off me. If anything, what he said made me even more determined to get closer to Bernie. So when he suggested I throw a party at my mansion for my 16th birthday and invite all my friends, I immediately agreed. The party was great. It's been a while since I was able to have fun and forget about the recent shenanigan for a moment, thanks to Bernie. "Wait a minute, Bae. I've prepared a big surprise for you." The lights went out, and I waited, wondering what it could be. But it's been a little too long. I called out for Bernie, but nothing. I didn't hear from Roy either. Realizing something was wrong, I found my way inside the house and was suddenly grabbed by someone. "Shh, let me show you something." He led me to the garage and I caught Bernie trying to start the supercar. Next to him was a bag full of priceless jewelry. "That was fast, but I didn't come here alone." "Yeah, but your teammates are already taken care of." Then Roy opened the garage door and the cops rushed in to arrest Bernie. Outside, I saw a couple of other robbers being led away in handcuffs. You again? You can act all high and mighty all you want, but you're no different from me. It turns out, even after the leader was caught, the robbers gang was still alive and well, and Bernie was a member. He only pretended to be rich to fool his victims and provide intel to the gang. Knowing my true background, he's the one who stole my necklace. But the mission failed because Roy stopped him. As revenge, Bernie leaked information about Roy's family. I should have exposed your rich kid facade sooner. I let you off several times out of respect for our close friendship, but you still wouldn't leave me alone. Close friend? Who falsely accused me of theft then? As he was being led away, I suddenly remembered something. What about the letter? Why did you do such a stupid, unnecessary thing? Bernie looked confused and insisted he didn't have time to write insignificant things like letters. It was me. I wrote it. I knew Bernie wouldn't stop trying to steal from you, and I didn't want you to get hurt. So I sent the warning letter for your family to take cover. Roy walked off, but I went after him. What about some accusation between you and Bernie? Is it the reason why you have to live a fake life? Roy explained he and Bernie used to be close friends. Roy was always poor when Bernie's family was a little better off. Roy discovered that Bernie was involved in some petty thefts, so Roy tried to make him stop, but he only took revenge by accusing Roy. Although there was no specific evidence, due to his poor family background, people always assumed that he'd done it. So when Roy transferred schools, he decided to pretend to be rich, so no one falsely accused him again. Oh, my poor Roy. Ugh, why is finding my balance so tricky? Ouch! Roy helped me up and checked I wasn't hurt. You don't have to do this. Just live your life as comfortably as before. Nope, I want to do this. This way I can cycle to see you whenever I want. A flashy car or fancy outfit doesn't change my value as a person, but working with you felt good. And you know what? Even though you're not as well dressed as when we first met, I still like you a lot. Long idling hours in class finally came to an end. Time to go home and chill. Huh? Are those thugs threatening a girl? Picking on the weak? Such cowards. Oops, she saw me. Now they're all looking at me. As a Muay Thai prodigy, I most definitely will run as fast as I can from danger. It's not me. My legs have a mind of their own. Besides, I stood no chance against those big, scary guys. I might get myself hurt if I tried to help. Then she'd call me a jumpy idiot. Yet some part of me still wished I could do something. While I was pondering from afar, a guy charged at them out of nowhere, then knocked them all out. Looked like he knew martial arts. Like me. I'm Jamie, by the way, and my story's absolutely normal. Please like and subscribe. I didn't expect to see my dad home this early. Sweetie, you're back already. How's your day? Hi, Dad. All good. It's been just me and my dad since my mom passed away when I was little. He's the best dad I could ask for, but he's shunned by this entire town. He's one of the firefighters who reported to a tragic fire accident around a year ago. They managed to save many lives, but unfortunately there were casualties. After that, the fire department became the town's scapegoat just because they couldn't save everyone. However, I could see better than anyone how much my father had sacrificed. He always covered up his left arm and told me not to tell anybody about it. He considered it part of his job and still felt guilty about that tragedy. More importantly, he taught me to be willing to help others no matter what. Little Jamie did listen to him and was always helpful, but no matter how hard we tried, we still had to endure the townsfolk's woulda, coulda, shoulda nonsense. So, I now live by my own rule. Don't be a hero. Hey, it helped Jesse Eisenberg's character survive Zombieland, so it'd surely get me through my life. And so the happy little girl now wears a permanent scowl on her face like her armor. Thanks to my tough exterior, no one would ever pick a fight with me, or speak badly about me, at least not to my face. Side effects included having no friends, getting pushed around by teachers, and being brushed off most of the time. You know, the usual cold shoulder. The next day, I was enjoying a good old boring normal day when I suddenly was summoned to the principal's office. For bullying a fellow student? What? Turns out, the damsel in distress yesterday, Betty, reported everything to the principal while conveniently placing me in that gang. I tried explaining myself, but my efforts seemed to be futile. Can't say I'm surprised. Like father, like daughter, I am seriously concerned about my students' safety, especially since street violence reigns in this area lately. Such terrible behavior is even more serious coming from you than those imbeciles. Good heavens, I hadn't even touched a single strand of hair on anyone's head. Poof, she obviously is blaming me simply because I didn't help. but speaking the truth would be like adding fuel to the fire. I believe the proper punishment for you is immediate suspension for 2 weeks. No, sir, I can't be their accomplice because I was gonna start a self-defense club for girls. Just like you, I worry a great deal about multiple attacks recently. Therefore, I want to help them be prepared. I was trying to recruit Betty, but she was surrounded by so many of them while I was all alone. That's like fighting a losing battle. I actually ran away so I could, report them to you. Betty must have mistaken me for one of them. My gibberish speech went on for a good while before he finally let me go. I had to bluff my way through his many questions. Where does the club take place? When? How many members? And since he said he'd come by sometimes, I actually had to create a self-defense club and begin recruiting. The first day of the club, only a few girls came. Fine, I don't have much care for this stuff anyway. It's merely an excuse for me to be let off the hook. I grabbed the 2 tallest girls, then asked them to demonstrate a couple moves so the rest could follow their lead. When an assailant strikes, cross your wrist to trap his arms. Jump, and boom! Boom. Yeah, boom! Did I do that right, Jamie? Jamie? Yes, that's it. Don't be lazy, okay? Then I got back to scrolling on my phone and saw that Betty had gone public about the incident. Even someone as indifferent as me could see how much sympathy and attention Betty got after that. Her story's influence went beyond the internet when our school launched a No Bullies Allowed campaign and chose her to be the spokesperson. However, they could only propose outdated and ineffective measures, like always traveling in groups, bringing pocket knives or pepper spray, or giving in to not get any serious injury. None of which really helped, and more students fell victim. A few days later, right before English class, I saw the Good Samaritan that day. He's Aaron and transferred from another school in the area. Come to think of it, he's quite a heartthrob, which got all the girls all riled up.
Do you have a girlfriend?
What's your type? Sexy, cool, nerdy? I know, nice and sweet? Yes. Oh, Mr. Bernardi's here. As usual, Mr. Bernardi began the lesson with a pop quiz. Today's topic was Hamlet. Okay, I knew this one. What's the play about, Teddy? A guy named Hamlet? Good, B+. Any other idea? Jamie? The play works on many levels. It's about Prince Hamlet's family conflict, their politics, how he can't make up his mind about duties, moral codes, and... Stop! F. You're reading too much into it. Well, I should have seen that coming. You suck. What did you say, Aaron Taylor? I said, shucks. Wow, this guy's so much more than just a pretty face. When class was over, I came to thank him and even got his socials. He's a super handsome guy with a voice of an angel who defended me. I think I got, well, you know. Let's see what his social says about his type. Oh, Betty seemed to be gaining more and more support, huh? I guess people have more compassion for delicate little flowers like her. Wow, nice. I had zero chance then. Suddenly I heard a commotion outside, then peeked out to see my father dealing with rude neighbors. Man, I can't live the life of the local doormat anymore. If so, I had to change first. I can be like her. All right, starting today, call me Dainty Jamie? Ugh, I'll figure something out. But my life will surely be different. Aaron, your girlfriend is coming. I'll certainly need a new look to go with my new personality. The Princess Diary would be the perfect tutorial. First, I have to look like a princess. So I replaced my sneakers, hoodies, and t-shirts with high heels, short skirts, and all things pink and glittery. Of course, cute accessories are a must. Ting! But it would be lying if I said this new style was comfy. This morning, my long hair got caught in a keychain on my backpack. It was impossible to untangle, so I had to cut off a chunk of hair. You know what they say, pain is beauty. I went to school in my new style, and the moment I set foot in the building, people stared at me like I was an alien. Then the mocking began. Look who's talking! Last time I saw something like you, I flushed. Oh dear, that wasn't very ladylike. So I decided to change my tone to sound posh and even learned how to sit, stand, and pick up dropped items elegantly. Greetings, Mrs. Allen. Can I have mashed potatoes and beans, please? What's that? Speak up, young lady. I'm sorry. Can someone be a doll and help, please? But they just looked at me all judgy. Stay calm. A lady doesn't panic. I slowly sat down with poise, but someone already picked up my tray. Aaron! He's freaky fast. Being a helpless pretty girl sure is nice. Jamie, you look different. I've always looked like this, silly. Since then, we started having lunch together. I felt safe around him because he's new here and didn't know about my past. We gradually became close as we've had many things in common, like martial arts. I really wanted to let my geek flag fly high, but had to hold back. Still, it didn't mean he's used to the current me. Like, he'd not understand that I was trying to eat gracefully. Are you a slow eater or just picky? Give it to me. I was saving it for last. Also, he often brought me honey and lemon candy. Sweet! But that's because he thought my soft voice came from a sore throat.
Erin, I was looking for you everywhere. Come, I want to show you something cool.
We're kinda in the middle of something.
Why are you always with her? Let me tell you, her father... Come here, you have to see this.
What is it?
Flowers. Yeah, flowers. Aren't they pretty?
You're weird. Like, in a good way, but weird. Are you trying to hide an earth-shattering secret? Like your true self? Am I wrong?
No way. What else can I be but myself? You watch too many movies.
To keep up my fair lady appearance, I shouldn't come to the Fight Girl Club so frequently. Since the principal wasn't breathing down my neck anymore, I hadn't been there for the past 2 weeks. Meanwhile, I tried to talk to Aaron more often. He's very nice. A bit too nice, as in he literally took pleasure in helping others. Today, although we're supposed to walk home together, Aaron canceled at the last minute cause, so sorry, Betty needed someone to walk her home, and today none of her friends could. How are you always in the mood to help people? Dunno, it's fun, I guess. Aren't you afraid your kindness will be taken for granted, or getting you into trouble one day? Like well, never mind. Have fun. I'll make it up to you. Bye.
I'm fine with that. It just stings because it's Betty.
Actually, Aaron wouldn't think twice about assisting a complete stranger, let alone a classmate. Was I even a little bit special in his eyes? I want to come clean to him, yet I'm afraid that will only make him distrust me and leave me like everybody else. This uncertain hell is driving me insane. I'll ask him out to clear things up. Ugh, just a dumb text from my self-defense club. Delete! Eek! He said yes! That's a good sign. Sunday came, and after we bought our tickets, we saw a girl struggling with dozens of grocery bags. Oh, that's Pooja from school. Aaron hurried over to help with the bags. We had some time before the movie started. We walked her back and found out that she's volunteering at a soup kitchen for homeless people.
Thanks so much. You two are here anyway. Want to join us? We always need some help here.
What? Free labor?
No,
Absolutely,
we're
no
sorry.
problem. We got tickets to a movie, right, Aaron? I don't think it's too late to change our plan, though. I had to pull him aside immediately. Aaron, what if we're too helpful so they keep us here until late? If not, we'll get yelled at. And if we leave early, they'll have something else to say. I don't know, maybe this isn't a good idea. Come now, so complicated. Just flat out say you don't want to help. Don't be ridiculous. It's our date, and we shouldn't let it go to waste. I'm ridiculous? Okay, but at least I'm not selfish and conceited. You don't want to feed the homeless? I'll stay and give them a hand. You can leave. Hey, what's the matter with you? Don't think you're better because you help everyone you see. Oh, so now we're being honest? Fine, my turn. I didn't listen to what everyone said about you and still became your friend. Turns out they're all right after all. Like father, like daughter. What are you talking about? You knew everything? Yeah, I'm not dumb, and that's not all. Now I finally believe my dad died in that fire because of your dad's negligence. Then he stormed off, leaving me stunned. I could see he rolled up his sleeves and began happily working, while I was left out here with my heart broken. Hey, what's the matter with you? Don't think you're better because you help everyone you see. Oh, so now we're being honest? Fine, my turn. I didn't listen to what everyone said about you and still became your friend. Turns out they're all right after all. Like father, like daughter. What are you talking about? You knew everything? Yeah, I'm not dumb, and that's not all. Now I finally believe my dad died in that fire because of your dad's negligence. His dad was among the victims in that fire? My feet wouldn't move, and my muscles were constricting from shock for a while before I could drag my heavy heart and crumbled thoughts to somewhere else. I'm sorry about his dad, but I'm in pain too. It's not just because the boy I like was cruel to me, but also because, as it turns out, he's no different from everyone else. Devastated, I unknowingly brought myself to the gymnasium. Wait, my self-defense club? They're still practicing? Wow, hard at work already. Amazing. Shut up! Why are you even here? Then their insurrection began. Just quit already. We're not here to entertain you. Your careless, irresponsible behavior has said enough. You don't even know why we need to learn how to defend ourselves. You never cared about us in the first place. Don't even bother pretending. Leave. Okay, fine. I won't stay where I'm not welcome. Bye, then. Home at last. I was gonna take my frowny face straight to my room, but couldn't hide it from Dad. Sweetie, why the long face? How are you so cheery all the time? Life's beautiful, and we get to see it every day, no? I hate it. I hate to see you get all the blame while doing nothing but good deeds. How everyone's mocking us. But above all, I hate how you always have that happy-go-lucky smile, even though people treat you like the butt of their jokes. I hate trying to be a hero like you said, but I can't stand pretending to be weak either. I hate everything! Honey, they might think the worst of us, but that doesn't mean we have to be so pessimistic and indifferent. Then we're no better than them, aren't we? You can't change the way people see you or be anyone but yourself. Perhaps one day we might manifest something good to the universe. But first, we need to be good people. His words actually woke up something in me. Was I wrong about everything all this time? In the following days, Aaron and I ran into each other a couple of times, but we both avoided eye contact. That one's a dead end, but a boy is not my biggest problem. Now I want to flip the script and start over. But from where? I know. But wow, everyone immediately got their torches and pitchforks ready at the sight of me. Good afternoon, y'all. What you said the other day got me thinking, and I'm sorry. I want to help, for real. Of course, only if you want me to. Come on, I'm already at the bottom. Give me a chance to go up, huh? No loss for you anyway. They seemed convinced, so I got down to business right away. What? You're already cowering? I only swung my arm. Looks like what they've been practicing wasn't working, so I decided to put them on a strength-building regimen alongside one-on-one sessions with me. On top of that, I built each member's profile detailing their weaknesses and how they should be improved. Most of us aren't tall or athletic. How about you show us how to use weapons like pocket knives, nunchucks, and axes? Seriously? Sorry, but swords are only as good as the women who wield them. You'll most likely hurt yourself if you carry those things around. So I came up with the idea of teaching them self-defense using familiar items like backpacks, pens, and heels. And this look? I actually wanted to get rid of it, but I decided to keep it up since this is what most girls wear. This should show them how to protect themselves in the most unexpected situations. Danger won't wait for you to change into appropriate attire. Besides, I'm totally serving this look. Then more students joined our club. I see geeks, nerds, goth chicks, and even popular cheerleaders. What brought them here? Hazel once mentioned that they all had a reason to learn self-defense. So I decided to sit everyone down one day. Alright, no practice today. I want this club to not only empower us girls physically, but also be a safe space to, talk about ourselves and our problems. Okay, who wants to go first? I broke the ice by sharing everything that's wrong with my life, why I had such a slappable face, and all things false about my family that everybody liked to say. The girls seemed quite bewildered, then began contributing to the conversation.
Well, for me it's my mom. She got divorced recently, and now she's doing really questionable midlife crisis stuff. I mean, she can do whatever she wants, but I'm still very angry with how she's handling things. So my therapist said I should take up some physical activity to deal with my anger issue. It seems to work, so far.
I feel powerless at home too, so I thought learning how to fight would give me the strength I need to stand up against my stepdad.
Yeah, I felt helpless many times before, like whenever I reported my stalker to the police, and they said there's nothing they can do. But practicing with you guys made me feel strong and confident, no matter how brutal it can be.
Totally. With what we learned here, I felt like one day we could both reverse stalk our stalkers.
Jeez.
I only wanted to take advantage of these poor girls at the beginning to get out of trouble, and almost abandoned them. What was I thinking? And since then, they'd all got stronger and seemingly more confident through each lesson. Every girl had several bruises, but the brightest smiles were always on their faces. We must have looked like the happiest thugs. One day, when I was enjoying my meal, Betty came and said she wanted to have a word with me in private. I put aside our differences, but then she said this.
I'll cut to the chase. Your violent little club is getting more popular and taking away people's attention from what's truly important. My campaign.
I don't follow. We exist in completely different spaces. I have nothing to do with your campaign.
You know what I'm talking about. All that everyone cares about now is your girl fight club. I'm just concerned that you're planting seeds of violence in other students' minds. That's all.
Gosh, I don't need to explain to you, of all people, what I'm doing. If you're worried nobody cares about you anymore, maybe, just maybe, they're tired of your sob story and useless anti-bullying measures. Ugh, you're wasting my time. However, I couldn't have anticipated disaster struck right that evening. other person was complicit that day, but I was hesitant to point her out because I feared her retribution. But now your love and support have given me strength to do the right thing. That girl was none other than Jamie. She even blatantly lied to the principal that she had self-defense club, but they're nothing but a bunch of thugs in disguise. I am truly terrified for myself and everyone else in this school. Members of the club were on my side. Still, most people chose to believe Betty, including the teachers, and so they shut us down. Am I on the right track after all, or should I just return to my old, quiet life? The next day, the whole club came to comfort me. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Never mind her. She already had her army of simps go to war with Team Betty. But from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. I couldn't have done anything without you guys. It's my fault the club shut down.
Jamie, we became fighters thanks to you. You're a real one.
I was walking home, feeling much better than yesterday, when I saw the last person I want to see, Betty, who's with her bullies? Betty, you okay?
Never better. See, I'm with my friends.
What? Didn't these guys beat you up?
We buried the hatchet. Friends for life, right guys?
You talk too much. What now? What's the problem?
Aaron came flying out of nowhere and pulled me out. Then they tried to pick a fight with him, but Betty prevented it. Then we walked together, no word spoken. When a thank you was on the tip of my tongue, he already went in another direction. Later that day, I found out that Betty owed money to them and almost couldn't pay them back, hence their intimidation. Now that the issue was settled, they're back to being friends. Their friendship made me cringe. I shouldn't bother myself with it since I already knew Betty wasn't all pure and innocent then. The next morning, Betty dragged me aside as soon as I came to school. Looking for your favorite scapegoat? Where are your bestie assailants? Shockingly, she wanted to apologize. Jamie, I promise it won't happen again. She even said that it was Aaron who told her to change her ways. Welp, it didn't matter anymore.
Pretty please don't tell anyone about this. My parents would shave all my hair and use my shiny bald head as a mirror if they knew.
Whatever, I'm no snitch. But how long do you think you can get away with this? People's sympathy will run out one day. Are you gonna ask them for another punch to have another sob story? Then I stormed off, leaving her frozen on the spot. It's Monday, meaning I was supposed to attend club meeting, but now that we're banned, I don't have anything better to do. So bored. Suddenly, I saw smoke rising from afar. That direction. It's the gym! I acted on instinct and ran towards it. As I approached the fire, I realized it was much bigger than I thought. Worse, I heard someone scream for help from inside. So I hit the fire alarm, but as soon as it sounded, memories of the fire in the past and my dad came rushing to me. It's keeping my feet rooted there. At this point, many people heard the alarm and came to help extinguish the fire.
What you standing there for?
Give us a hand! Ayo, did she cause this?
Out of the way! Useless!
Images of Dad's scar filled my head. I just want to explode. Is history repeating itself? Are people gonna die?
Jamie! Jamie! Jamie!
I was awoken by the calls of my friends from the club. They're helping too, but this much water and sand couldn't do much to this ever-growing fire. In a split second, I tore out a piece of my shirt, dipped it in some water, then wrapped it around my face before running straight inside the burning building as everyone else gasped at me. The black smoke covered my field of vision. I dashed further inside and showed any survivor I saw the way out. Shockingly, I found Betty, shivering and cowering. I called out her name a couple of times, but no response. Without thinking, I carried her out in my arms. As soon as we got out, I saw Aaron trying to tell me something, but I didn't hear a single word as I was fixated on looking for more survivors in there. Suddenly, fire truck sirens took me out of it and I stopped. Firefighters are here! My dad's here! They swiftly took care of the rest. But my dad's uniform caught on fire, which had to be taken off. That's when he inadvertently revealed his scarred arm. When the fire had been put out and no one was left inside, I rushed over to give my dad the biggest hug. Dad, you're all right! I finally did it! Then some townsfolk came to pick up their kids, and I saw them looking at my dad's scar with this stupid, aghast look on their faces. What are you looking at? Y'all thought a firefighter's body's flawless? This? It's what he got for trying to save you and your family in that tragic fire and all these years. He should have been praised as your hero, but instead, all he got in return is deformity and your ungrateful ass. Dad had to hold me back to stop any further colorful words from coming out of my mouth. Poof. They need to hear that. It took a while before a few people approached my dad, asked him how he was doing, and apologized for mistreating him, as well as disregarding his contribution to the town. Hey, my emotional outburst helped. After that incident, I spent a few days at home. The girls told me that Betty admitted to setting the gym on fire so she could play the victim and be the center of attention once again. Betty only contacted Aaron because she wanted him to save her specifically, but the fire was unexpectedly huge and spread like, well, wildfire. Tragically, Aaron didn't make it in time while Betty was completely unaware of other students in the gym at that time and accidentally trapped them. There's gonna be dire consequences for her no matter what. That evening, I answered the door to see a familiar face. Hi. How are you holding up? I was so worried. Wait, let's go somewhere else. I didn't take Betty's text seriously until I heard you running into the fire. Please forgive me. I'm sorry about the last time we spoke. I was so angry I said all those wrong things about you. I'm very sorry about your dad as well. It's okay. And my family and I should have been thanking your dad and his team. Without them, my mother wouldn't have been around now. That's alright. I wasn't being completely honest either. The truth is, I know. Ever since the day we fell out, I kept an eye on you still. I know that's creepy, but I just wanted to know how you're doing. Believe it or not, I secretly came to your self-defense club a couple times and saw what good deeds you're actually doing. And now, would you give me the chance to get to know the real you? Bro, you're sure you want to know me? I've seen that you're more than willing to ditch me and help just about everyone in need, and I'm tired of that. Besides, aren't you into nice, cute, petite girls? Says who? Is this about what I said in English class? It's just so the girls would stop. And the other thing, guess I was a bit misleading, but that's how I instinctively act to everybody because I thought it's what any good person would do. When you finally become my girlfriend, you'll get the special Aaron Taylor treatment. That's still not my biggest achievement this school year. I got to be friends with these amazing people. And even though I'm not a true hero, I found a way to help them overcome some of their problems. Would you believe it? I was really happy I did that, and I would be happy to do it again.
I woke up in shock to find my face covered in bandages. My face! This can't be happening! Right, Callum? Tell me this is not happening! Right after, the doctor entered the room.
Miss, unfortunately, the glass from the car window has caused extensive trauma to your skin.
As the doctor continued talking, I felt myself zone out and began to panic. My face is everything! Without it, my singing career is over!
Ash, it's gonna be okay. I'll help you find a way to return to the stage. I promise.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I had a dream of becoming a famous singer. I used to sing on the streets to collect a few dimes. Then one day, a handsome and polite man approached me.
I'm Callum, a talent scout, and I believe with your angelic voice and rare beauty, you have the makings of a star.
It was love at first sight, and not only did I gain a manager, but also a hot boyfriend. He arranged for me to perform at cafes, bars, and restaurants. It was nonstop. I enjoyed it, but I had to admit I was also, exhausted. And that's when Callum suggested that I use autotune and lip sync to save my throat.
Babe, I know this ain't right, but you're burned out, and I can't bear seeing that. You know, it's not forever. I think that way you can focus on dressing up and letting people admire that gorgeous face of yours.
Hearing this did make me feel sad, but Callum knew what he was talking about, so I trusted him, while the fire inside me to perform on a professional stage still burned strong. Then one day, he told me some unexpected good news.
No more small gigs. The famous company Dream M Entertainment is holding auditions to find their next big star. I've taken care of everything. You just need to be 100% confident in performing.
This was it. My time to shine has finally come. But then that evening, while driving home and practicing singing, I had an uncontrollable coughing fit. I lost focus of the road for a split second and didn't see the incoming car until everything went dark. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up at the hospital looking like Frankenstein and certain that my big dreams were now in shatters. After 2 months in the hospital, most of my scratches healed, but only a deep cut scar remained on my cheek. Just a few days more until the audition, and I couldn't show up looking like this.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Can makeup cover it? Or maybe a mask?
There must be something. But the doctor said I can't wear makeup until it's fully healed, as it might cause an infection. And if I went on stage in a mask, people would certainly raise questions. Then Callum's eyes suddenly darted to the photo on the shelf.
Ash, here's your answer. Get your sister to be your double until your wound heals.
You mean Bridget? That freak? No way! Yeah, I do have a twin sister, but we aren't close, for sure. My parents divorced when we were 7, and the courts decided I'd live with Dad and Bridget with Mom. I had a great life with Dad as he bought me any outfit I wanted. But Bridget was a tomboy and didn't care about fashion. The last time I saw her, she was wearing all faded clothes. I guess the whole moody, loner, frown like she's constipated look was her vibe. I tried talking to her at college, but she always snubbed me. And just like that, we ended up being strangers despite being siblings. And now you say I have to grovel her for help? No! I get that you guys aren't close, but surely you can put your differences aside for this once-in-a-lifetime chance at your dream? I suppose Callum has a point, so I agreed. Only it wasn't that simple, as I didn't have Bridget's number and she refused to use social media. You know, to match her cool, unbothered vibe. Ugh. Hang on. I remember her scowling at me behind the counter at the Yo-Yo fast food once. Perhaps she still worked there? I immediately disguised myself and headed there. Oh, there she is. I started hovering around her and explained what had happened, then asked her if she'd be my double for the audition, but she didn't bother to care. Get out the way. I can't perform looking like this. Please, this is everything to me. It's none of my business. I have work to do. See, I can't just give up like this. So I ordered food and sat there and waited for her to change her mind. It was closing time already. I was about to leave when I saw Bridget and her boss quarreling with each other.
My gosh, this is why it's never good to hire teenagers. I only hired you because you begged for the job.
I'm sorry, sir.
Darn it. Starting today, you will work without pay for 3 months.
No, sir, I need money. You didn't even pay me last month. Hey, what are you doing? Go. You can work elsewhere. Don't be here with a scumbag.
What?
And you, get lost before I report you to the cops. What you aiming at? Why do you have to work here anyway? Doesn't Mom give you a big enough allowance? Don't pretend like you care. How could a spoiled girl like you ever understand? What do you mean by that? Anyway, you need money, right? I can help you. Bridget didn't answer, but I saw through her Miss Frosty persona. If you replace me until I'm recovered, then I'll pay you. A big check worth 10 times what you're making here. By the way, only 2 of us and my manager know about this, so don't worry. Then I gave her my number and told her to message me when she made a decision. She reluctantly took it, saying nothing and just left. But that evening, a message from an unknown number popped up. Okay, I'm in. You better pay me right. I immediately called Callum and told him the good news. Now it's time to turn Bridget into a temporary me. Normally, Callum and I keep our relationship low-key to maintain professionalism. And that's the same now. We're keeping it a secret with Bridget. Callum made it clear to Bridget that all she needed to do was to look pretty and lip sync. But geez, that girl could only moan. This crop is too tight and constricting. Stop scratching like a monkey. I showed her how to stand straight and walk like a diva. And it shocked me when she said she'd never heard of skincare. No wonder her skin was as dry as the Sahara Desert, and her pores were as deep and large as black holes. No worries. The witches here will give you a magic transformation. Wow, she looked exactly like me, just without the wound. Even Callum was impressed. He instantly offered to help her into the car and drive her to the audition. I guess it made sense for Callum to keep her on our side. Now is not the time for stupid jealousy, Ashley. I disguised myself as Bridget's assistant and nervously waited backstage. The audition was such a nightmare. Bridget's lip-syncing didn't match the pre-recorded audio, and she danced like she had 2 left feet. Finally, the performance ended, and the first judge to comment was David Knight, aka the music wizard, master composer, and lord of melodies. Oh, I know this guy. He's sure a demigod in real life.
Your singing was dismal, and your dancing was catastrophic. Did you get lost looking for the bathroom and wander on stage by accident? Having a pretty face isn't enough to keep you here.
The judge sitting next to David suddenly grabbed the mic. Wait, he's the CEO of Dream M.
You're wrong, David. Beauty is also talent. She's a diamond in the rough, and only needs a little polishing to shine.
After the show, Callum was overjoyed as he informed Bridget that she'd become a talent at Dream M and would soon become an A-lister. I was so excited too that I flung my arms around Bridget, but she coldly pushed me away. Enough for today. Since then, the 3 of us agreed that Bridget would perform on stage while I would record at the studio. The bad side was about putting up with David, the difficult judge at the audition who was in charge of my recording session.
The only thing going for you is your face, so I hide it behind that mask.
If you must know, I didn't have time to apply any makeup. Satisfied much?
Sorry, what'd you say?
It was too early in the day to deal with such a jerk, so I stayed silent and focused on the session.
Your singing has improved significantly since the audition. It just still lacks some emotion.
Thanks! My debut was just days away, but things didn't go so well. Bridget had no sense of style and appeared in the fashion column Worst Dressed lists, shaking like a leaf on stage and jumbling her words when facing impromptu interviews. So I had to set up a crash course for Bridget, but this time I taught her simple, easy-to-remember things instead of big stuff like last time. I showed her how to pair basic outfits, how to deal with a press, and most importantly, I still guaranteed her regular pay. Ash, you've helped me a lot, and thanks. Oh my, she was so awkward. But that was sweet. I could gradually feel that we were actually sisters.
Bridget, the main effort was still yours. Keep it up.
Soon, the company began to promote Bridget, and her reputation skyrocketed. All the while, my relationship with Callum took a nosedive. At previous events, Callum used to pamper me and bring me my favorite foods. But now, he just brought Bridget's favorites. He never left her side, and they were always having cozy chats. So one day, I decided to talk straight to him about this. Callum, I have to admit that I feel kinda uncomfortable, as you're a bit too close to Bridget.
Babe, I got you. I have to pretend I'm with Bridget as everyone thinks she's you. I'm doing this for your own good, so stop overthinking. Will you do it for me?
I know, but I really feel insecure since I got this scar. It's like I've lost everything.
Don't worry, the scar will eventually heal. The most important thing right now is you stay calm and get through this time.
Right. I suddenly forgot that I was working for a greater goal. I tried convincing myself that they were just dedicated to their work and that my wound would be healed soon, and I could go back to being me. I still go to the hospital every week for follow-up and treatment. It's faded, hasn't it? I needed to escape, so I went to the studio to sing my heart out. I was certain no one would be there at this time of night, but turned out I was wrong. Surprisingly, on seeing me, that dude didn't shoo me away. Instead, he was actually pleasant.
A night owl too, huh? Start singing then. I'll give you my valuable opinions.
I was shocked by this approachability, but I rolled with it. David was many things, but there was no denying he was extraordinarily talented that made huge hits. I sang, and he gave me some useful tips and pointers.
I believed you'd be too haughty to listen to my guidance, but it turns out I was mistaken.
Well, I found you annoying at first, but I appreciate your help and I value your feedback. It seems there's actually a nice guy behind the ogre front.
Sorry, what you say?
I won't say it twice. Then I started humming a few lines from a song I'd written, but didn't realize I was singing it out loud until it was too late.
That song is good. Whose is it?
Actually, I wrote it. No need to be mocking.
No, I'm not at all. I didn't know you had a talent for songwriting. Come here, let me hear the whole song.
So we sat down together, and surprisingly, our vibe matched each other perfectly. Actually, you're the first person to take my ability seriously.
Sorry?
Hey, stop pretending!
Actually, I'm not
Gradually, Bridget seemed to figure out how to act like me, and her popularity grew. She was no longer sluggish and paid more attention to her appearance. Even Callum mentioned how he could only distinguish us by my wound. From then on, Callum said Bridget could do it herself, so they went to the shows without me. This feeling is making me squirm. On the one hand, I want Bridget to do well to help me out. On the other hand, I'm also feeling a bit resentful that I was replaced so easily. I also miss the way Callum used to care about me, but I remember what he said the other day, and I know I shouldn't be acting like a child. So I tried to distract myself by doing what I love the most, singing. Everybody was packed with Bridget's show, so this world is mine. Woohoo! I was in the studio practicing my new song when suddenly David barged in.
Can you explain to me why you're here whilst also performing on TV live?
Why are you here?
Does it even matter now? Who really are you?
I begged him to keep quiet. Then I frantically took my mask off and told him everything. I mean, everything. As I was too shocked to make any excuses.
This is insane.
I know it isn't right, but I promised once my wound healed, everything would go back to normal. Singing is everything to me. David remained silent for a while, then blurted out,
All right, if what you said is true, I will keep your secret. And one more thing. If you really like singing and songwriting, I can continue to help you. What do you say?
Yes, totally yes.
And don't you dare lie to me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, swear to God. Finally, it was the follow-up day. As the doctor finished the examination, I saw him frown.
I'm sorry to inform you that the scar cut's too deep. It may fade over time, but I'm afraid it won't go completely. At least in 2 years.
I broke down. This couldn't be happening. Not knowing what else to do, I decided to go and find Callum. But when I arrived at his house, I saw that he wasn't alone. Bridget and Callum were sitting together and slowly leaning for a kiss. Hi, Ashley here, a superstar in the making. At least I was until the accident happened and I was left with a scar. With a huge audition coming up, my manager boyfriend Callum persuaded me to get my twin sister, Bridget, to pose on stage as me. She took on the glitzy parts of my life while I stayed in the background and recorded at the studio with David, my grumpy but talented music producer. It was only supposed to be until my scar healed, but then the doctor told me the devastating news. The scar was here to stay. Upset, I went around to Callum's for support and saw him there with Bridget. They were leaning in to kiss. I couldn't believe my sister and my boyfriend would do this to me. So with rage swirling through me, I karate kicked open the door and barged inside to confront the conniving snakes. How could you? My boyfriend and my own sister! He's your boyfriend? I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
No, you did nothing wrong. I fell for her first, Ashley. Can you blame me? She's a flawless superstar. You'd understand because you used to be her. At least until you crumbled.
I was freaking hit by a car, you douchebag! But it didn't matter to him at all. That's when it hit me. Callum never loved me. I was just a tool to him. You can't trust him, Bridget. It's only a matter of time before he decides you're no use to him anymore and ditches you, just like what he's doing to me right now. And I'm going to make sure the whole world knows what a jerk he is. Callum suddenly lunged towards me, then aggressively dragged me out of the house.
You think you can threaten me with that big mouth? Who's gonna believe you, huh? You're just a shadow of Bridget, a flawed, pathetic version of her, so get lost.
You'll never get away with this. Just you wait and see. Days later, I was still hung up on his cruel words, but I had to do something to take back what's mine. So I spent ages covering my scar with makeup, then showed up at an event I was supposed to attend. I confidently strutted up to the entrance.
Whoa. Nice try, Ashley. But the scar gives you away. Try Kylo Ren next time.
That stung. Feeling hopeless, I started walking, and my feet unconsciously led me to the studio. I turned on the lights and played my previous records. Surprisingly, my singing had improved one by one. So I turned up the song volume and sang and danced along. I was busting some crazy dance moves when I suddenly heard clapping.
I didn't know you've got the groove. Come to think of it, I've never seen you this happy before.
You have no idea what I've been through. I felt safe around him, so before I could stop myself, I blurted out what had happened. He insisted on taking me somewhere fun to cheer me up. Turns out David's fun place is the super cool Japanese fair. We shared some huge rainbow cotton candy and lit sparklers and drew musical notes in the air. Then, as we walked past a stall with some fantastically colorful masks, I stopped dead and stared at them. Hey, I have an idea. I should start a new singing career wearing a cool mask. I mean, it's not the most original idea since Sia and Marshmallow have already done it, but I can hide my face and Callum wouldn't even notice to stop me.
That's actually a great idea. Here, this one looks cute on you.
Holy cow! Red alert! Red alert! You're falling for this charming, handsome, talented music producer guy.
It's on me, by the way. Consider it a lucky charm, okay?
For sure. I swooned and was motivated to create a YouTube channel right away, starring me singing with my mask on, and used Vixie as my stage name. At first, I only covered other artists' songs, but as my confidence and following grew, I began singing the songs David helped me write. Although the netizens quickly spotted the similarities between my voice and Bridget's pre-recordings, they're both mine, but the difference is, one uses a ton of auto-tune and one does not. Then, one by one, I released more songs, and over the course of a few months, my channel grew to over 1 million subscribers. For the first time in my life, people actually saw me for my musical talents, not for the way I looked. So, to thank them, David and I spent weeks in the studio composing a special song called Thistles Bloom to release on Valentine's Day. Then one day, David was invited to the Grand Gala, which was a massive event full of the hottest stars, and he took me along with him. The party went off to a great start, and everyone was so complimentary about my music. I was dancing alone while David talked business with some music producer. But then, Bridget suddenly appeared and tried talking to me. "Vixie, hi! I love your look." I ignored her and went to leave, when suddenly I got this itchy feeling in my throat, and I felt my face begin to swell. I looked down and gasped when I saw pecans inside my muffin. "Oh no, I'm allergic to pecan." I ran to the toilet and took off the mask to catch my breath, when the bathroom door snapped open and in walked Bridget. "Come on, Ash, I already knew it was you." "Sorry, guys, the door seems to be stuck." She slammed the door shut and went trying to help me. I didn't want her help, but I didn't have much choice. I put my mask back on and let her place her jacket around my shoulders and sneak me out of there. She got her driver to pick us up around the back of the building and take me home. Then she made sure I took my allergy medicine. Don't expect me to thank you for this. No, after you left Callum's house, he told me you gave up singing for me and that you gave us your blessing. But when I saw videos of Vixie going viral, I instantly knew it was you, and he had lied to me. Yeah, he's good at doing that. I feel really bad for what happened, so I want to make it right. I'll give you back your place as a singer. You're serious? Absolutely. I was so relieved you hadn't given up on your passion. You have no idea how amazing you sound. Actually, I do, but I can't take all the credit. David helped me produce the song, and we're actually releasing it this Valentine. Really? I can't wait to hear it. Fine, you can hear the demo if you want. She loved the song, and I had to admit, it felt good having my twin back. A few days later, I was fully recovered from my allergy attack and feeling excited about my big song reveal. But then I went on my laptop and saw that Bridget had released a new song, Thistle Bloom, my song. I immediately called Bridget to find out what was going on. Surprised, weren't you? Now you know how I feel. I've always been inferior to you. It's about time you be the loser. Oh, and BTW, Callum and I are officially dating. He picked me over you, so did your fans. They definitely won't be fooled. I'll show them the truth. I went online and insisted that the song was my work. But not only did the netizens not believe me, but they also wanted me cancelled. This Ashley wannabe is so tragic. I always thought this masked girl was sketchy. She thought she was so sleek, stealing Ashley's song. I had to watch my subscriber count take a nosedive. All my hard work had gone to waste. I turned my phone off and just sat in a dark room, wishing I was beautiful again. Maybe people would believe me then. Suddenly, the door opened and in walked David. "You've been ignoring my calls and messages, so I came to see if you were okay. Seems you're not." "No, I'm hideous, and now my career is over." "Your career isn't over because of how you look. Can't you see? You're very talented, and you're all set to become a great artist. That's why Bridget is so jealous and insecure. She has to steal your work." So, people still believe Bridget because she's beautiful. No one wants to believe in this sketchy, masked girl who's too afraid to show her scarred face. Look, I can't hear most of the words you just said, but all I know is you can't let a minor setback like this stop you from doing what you love. He then took something out of his ears. Hang on, were they hearing aids? My hearing started deteriorating when I was 15. When I told everyone I wanted to work in the music industry, they all thought I was delulu. But 5 years later, and look at me now. Of course, it was hard for me too, but I never let my disadvantage get in the way of my dream. You really did it! Sorry, what you say? Oh, that actually made a lot of sense. If David could overcome this and continue to compose and produce amazing music, then I could overcome my body image issues and become a real singer in my own right and under my name. I started by snooping around my old fan pages and found out that Bridget was going to hold a press conference for the release of her latest album and perform Thistle Bloom. I devised a plan to get there before she did, and that includes David puncturing his own car tire and getting Bridget and her team caught in traffic. On the press conference's stage, I was shaking like crazy, but as soon as I heard the audience chanting my name, I knew I could do this. I stepped on stage, and while the crowd was too stunned to react, I quickly started performing an acoustic version of Thistle Bloom, and the crowd went quiet. I could see it in their eyes. They were moved. Then the screen behind me lit up and played a video of me and David working on the song. When my performance ended, the audience erupted in applause. I was overwhelmed with joy, but then a reporter suddenly stood up and asked, "Are you the masked singer Vixie? What are you doing here instead of Ashley?" I knew this was my moment of truth, so I took a deep breath, then removed my mask. I'm actually the real Ashley. The audience gasped in shock. Buzzing started spreading. I got the scar from a car accident. I was so hungry for fame, but believed I could never make it as a star with a scar. So I asked my twin sister, Bridget, to take my place. I'm sorry that we deceived you like that, and I promise that from now on, I will always stay true to myself, scar or no scar. Then I stepped down from the stage and walked past Bridget, who was trying to escape the reporters. She looked around and called Callum's name for help, but in typical Callum style, he was trying to blend into the crowd. Ashley, was the twin swapping plan your idea? No, it was actually my ex-manager's, aka cheating ex-boyfriend's idea. Wasn't it, Callum? I watched him look mortified as they swarmed around him. It seems like he's gonna have a hard time with his career in the future. That's karma for you. Then I strolled out of there with David waiting at the door, leaving all the buzzing behind me. I started living my life just the way I wanted and no longer cared what Bridget and Callum were up to. Then one day, I was driving home from the studio when I saw Bridget surrounded by some thugs. I called the police and then made sure she was okay. Turns out, Mom was in debt, and the collectors were now forcing Bridget to pay up. My life's a failure. I tried to be you to escape this pathetic reality, but got carried away and wanted to replace you. I don't have any excuse for my actions. Just punish me however you want. I stayed silent for a while, then eventually decided to drive her home. It made sense now. Bridget despised me because she'd spent years suffering with Mom, while I had a privileged, happy life with Dad. I felt bad for her, because after all, she's just a victim of Mom's neglect. So, I used the money Bridget had made while being me to pay off Mom's debt, and then I spoke to Dad and arranged for her to move in with us. Things aren't perfect between us, but we're getting there. She's still super shy and moody, but she's doing a lot better than she was. I learned to accept the scar on my face and became a real singer. I may not be a household name, but I guess I'm pretty famous, and also an inspiration to young girls who feel self-conscious about the way they look. And you know what? I'm happy with that. Best of all, I now have a cute, kind, loving, albeit grouchy at times, boyfriend, David. We even opened a music company that judged our clients on their talent, not their appearance. I was cuddled up next to David watching the news when the reporter said there was a groundbreaking new scar treatment available. Do you still want to remove your scar? No, as it's now a part of me.
Now would you look at this girl, owning the stage, slaying all the performances. Guess what? That's me. I'm Rena, a talented beauty just like my mom, Demi Grande, the famous singer. Alongside being a dazzling diva, Mom also works as a vocal trainer at my school, the Gloria Rowley Arts Academy. Having the best teachers here to help me perfect all my skills sounds amazing, right? I excel at everything I do, being an MC, dancing, acting, mastering the piano. But still, I knew that none of these would really satisfy my mom. 'Cause there is one not-so-tuneful problem. I'm tone deaf. At 7, once after I sang my little heart out in a vocal class, the teacher asked my mom when she came to pick me up, "Oh, so Rena is really your daughter. What a shame she didn't inherit your voice." She's so off-key, we all had to cover our ears. But besides singing, I can still shine on stage in other ways. For example, being an MC at my mom's new album pre-listening party. Everything was going smoothly, right up until track number 6, when the speakers and screen glitched out. Being the professional I am, I kept the crowd entertained with my charisma and dance moves.
Rena, sing us a song too, please!
Suddenly, the rest of the audience were nodding in agreement. I hesitated, but then decided to go with it. Just a short one. Can't be that bad. 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night alight. The audience started laughing. Oh no, if only Harry Potter could lend me his invisibility cloak right now. Please help! Suddenly,
Hey, everyone! Sorry for the technical issues. It seems to have affected the sound system also, causing voices distortion. So, not letting you all wait any longer, how about we do an acoustic performance for this next song, in which Arietta and I had the honor to feature with Miss Demi Grande. I assure you won't be able to get this experience anywhere else. The crowd cheers so loud. They must have forgotten about my disastrous performance. Thank God. Everyone was surely enjoying this. I mean, who could blame them? Look at him. My savior. Not Harry Potter, but Brian Willis, the best singer from the vocal department of our academy. At the end of the show, I rushed over to get a photo with Mom, but it seems she was busy. I guess I'd see her at home.
That evening, I was in my room looking at video clips from the party when a video of me singing popped up. I scrolled through the comments. So, Demi's beautiful voice was defo not inherited.
She can dance and act, but she sure can't sing.
Huh? It wouldn't make more sense if Ariana was Demi's daughter. Just then, Mom came in to thank me for the successful event and saw me disheartened by those words.
It doesn't matter, Rena. Just enjoy your dancing or anything you like. Singing isn't for everyone.
I couldn't get her words out of my head. I was a daughter of a diva, yet I sounded like a frog. No way. They can sing, then this diva's daughter can sing too. So I booked myself in for some online singing lessons, then signed up as the opening solo singer for the Academy's annual concert. As long as I practice hard, then I'd make it, right? Just like how I honed my other skills. Mom saw me practicing and tried to help, but no matter how hard I tried, I always came in at the wrong beat, sang as if I was reading, whispered when it was too low, cracked my voice when it was too high, and screamed out the words.
Sweetie, why don't you prepare a dance instead? It's more of your thing. Leave the singing to our vocal department. Ariana will surely nail it.
Ugh! Ariana this, Ariana that. I'm your daughter, not her. I must be able to sing. I was looking at the list of registered candidates and feeling nervous. But Brian appeared beside me.
Oh, so you want to follow the singing path? If so, I'll always support you.
He handed me some materials for basic vocal training. I was thinking about how sweet he was when Ariana and her friends passed by. Oh, so both you and Brian are trying out for the opening solo? Nah, just me, obviously. How could Brian compete against his girl? Ariana is his girl? So Brian didn't like me at all. He was just being polite. Both him and Mom thought I was just a dud and Ariana was the headline act? So I practiced all day and night to prove them wrong. I also posted a short clip of my singing on the forum and said if people voted for me, I'd provide a mega performance full of singing and dancing. The next day, the school announced the top 2 tied opening solo candidates, Ariana and me. I was so excited. But then I heard the murmuring. You voted for her? For real? I just want to see how bad her voice can get.
Don't be so mean. She's Miss Grande's daughter. Of course my vote goes to her.
Suddenly, Enid, this usually timid girl, appeared and congratulated me. Don't listen to them, Rena. I believe only someone as well-rounded as you deserves to represent Gloria Rowley's art academy. Enid's kind words really gave me strength. Now I just had to keep on practicing. I'm so near to the goal now. That weekend was the final rehearsal before the selection round. I was extremely nervous, and this was the first for me to feel this bad on stage. I wasn't as comfortable and confident as I was MC or a dancer. I tremblingly sang, but all I could think of was my itchy throat. I couldn't hit the notes at all. Had I practiced the wrong techniques? No way. I followed all the instructions Brian gave me.
If you don't really want to do it, don't push yourself.
I just feel a little under the weather today, so I didn't want to push it too hard. Don't worry, I've got a wonderful performance in store for everyone on D-Day. Oh, Brian, where have you been? We need to run over our duet one more time. Ariana again? She must be trying to pick a fight with me. I glumly looked around the auditorium and saw everyone from different departments busily preparing for their amazing performances. They were all passionately practicing. Meanwhile, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. How on earth could I save this performance? I was at my all-time low when Enid appeared next to me. Hey, do you want to team up? I have the vocals and you possess the greatest stage presence. Seeing my confused face, she continued, I've always admired you, and it's really sad to see you like this. We all just want a successful event for our academy, right? I've tried so hard. Everyone, especially my mother, is really looking forward to my performance. I cannot fail. So I agreed to let Enid help me lip sync for the audition. Just for once. I'll recover in time for the real concert anyway. The audition started off great. Enid was backstage singing, and turns out her voice is Taylor Swift level amazing. It's even more soulful than Ariana's. Seeing the crowd's stunned faces, I confidently gave the performance my best shot. But then I suddenly noticed the crowd's confused looks and realized something. Enid had stopped singing. Panicked, I turned on my mic to sing, but my voice came out as an off-key tremble. I sounded terrible, but I managed to finish a song and then rushed backstage. As soon as I stepped backstage, I saw my mom and some of the other students, including Brian and Ariana, gathered around Enid, who was sobbing, saying that her mic broke and that she didn't mean to let me down. Enid, what are you doing here? I can't, Ari. Please forgive me. I can't do it. Even though you're my sister, I can't. What are you talking about?
Wait, you two are sisters?
Oh, I see. So Ariana teamed up with Enid to sabotage me. I knew I wasn't Ariana's favorite person, but this was low, even for her. Now I was a laughingstock to everyone. It had been a horrible day, so I just wanted to curl up in my room and be left alone. Only, Mom knocked on my door. "Sweetie, can we talk?" I was too sad to answer, and Mom must have been mad at me, as she didn't try knocking again. I can't blame her. I would too if I was a mom. A tone-deaf daughter like me really embarrassed her. As expected, the next day at school, everyone was buzzing about 3 hot topics. The first one being my lip syncing. Rena can't even sing properly. Her performance was a joke. But she's truly a great dancer. She's better off focusing on that. The second, that they suspected Ariana of being the mastermind who set me up. And the last one was a surprise at how awesome Enid's voice was. That whole morning, I couldn't escape the gossiping. Worse still, clips of my lip syncing were posted online, and now the Academy had been accused of favoritizing a celeb's daughter over talent. I never meant for it to affect my mom and the school's reputation. I know I needed to try and fix this, so I decided to apologize in front of everyone during lunch break. It was my idea to lip sync, and I know it was dumb. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. But before my friends could reply, Enid spoke up. "Rena, I didn't mean to blow the lip sync plan. Ariana begged me to, but I refused. It was a completely unintended incident." "Please, drop the act. I never asked you to do that. I didn't record our convo because I trusted you, because you're my sister. But come on, Ariana, you know what you said." "Oh, you didn't record it? Then it's a good job I did." Ariana then pulled out her phone and played a video. "Why were you lying about the lip syncing?" "Relax, you should be thanking me for helping you eliminate a rival." I gasped in shock, and so did everyone else. I never thought that sweet, timid Enid could secretly be so conniving. Enid couldn't play innocent anymore, so she broke down and told everything. "Okay, I did it, but none of y'all understand what it's like having Ariana for a sister. I have a better voice, but I can't compete with her. She's beautiful and everyone loves her, while I'm always the black sheep. Not to mention my migraine medication made me put on these unlosable weights. So I felt too insecure to stand on stage. I just wanted Ariana to taste failure for once, to feel what I feel. So I used Rena to beat her, but the mic messed up, and I took my chance to put the blame on Ariana instead." Everyone was still trying to process all these shocking revelations when a boy stood up.
Voila! Everything is clear. It's just some selfish scheme of one person. GR Arts Academy is full of awesomely talented students. Stop the dumb rumors.
Turns out, that guy has been live streaming the whole thing. Now that the case was closed, both Mom and the Academy's credibility was restored. But this drama is still too much for me. I needed a breather. As I listened to the birds chirp around me, I began to feel calmer. But then I saw Ariana coming over. "I'm sorry about my sister. It's true I'm a bit jealous of you, but I'm not that spiteful." "Jealous? Of me? But you're pretty, have a superstar voice, and everyone in school loves you. How about you, huh? You're beautiful, multi-talented, you can MC, act, and dance. All I can do is sing." "Okay, so turns out Ariana isn't as unapproachable as I thought she was? She's actually nice. Maybe I shouldn't have been so quick to judge her." Suddenly, Brian charged over to us with an alarmed look on his face. "Calm down, Tiger. I'm not harming your girl. She's all yours now." "Your girl?"
Why are you here and not at home?
"I'm not ready to face Mom just yet. She must hate having a tone-deaf daughter."
Rena, you were wrong for lip syncing, but it's not your fault that you can't sing. Singing isn't something mandatory for all human beings, is it?
But
do you know how proud Miss Grande is of you? She always brags to us about your achievements and plays us your performance videos.
Brian's wise words made me feel a lot better. He was right. I shouldn't have lip-synced. I should have just embraced the things I'm actually good at, and just been myself. After talking to Brian, I felt ready to go home and face Mom. Everyone expects me to sing as well as you, and I too honestly thought that if I kept practicing, I'd be able to. But the truth is, I'm just not a singer, and I never will be one. I know you're mad at me, but I can't be like Ariana. I'm so sorry.
Sweetie, I never want you to be anything other than you. I'm so proud of you, and I'm sorry if my actions ever came across differently to you. I wasn't mad at you, at all. I really just wanted to give you a hug last night, but I didn't hear anything from you and thought you might need some time on your own.
So, you're not upset that I'm not a singer?
Of course not, silly. I just want you to be happy and pursue whatever you love.
I'm glad Mom and I had cleared things up, but I couldn't stop thinking about Enid and why she did what she did. So that evening, I texted her. The lip sync was a bad call, but it made me realize that no one's good at everything. We all have our own strengths. Mine isn't singing, but yours is. Your voice is truly angelic, so don't let anything stop you from doing what you love. I'm glad we're okay now. You're right. Being a singer angel doesn't require a stick figure. Thank you.
and I'm sorry. I'm relieved that's all sorted, and Enid learned her lesson and now realizes just how amazing she is. I was anxiously waiting backstage for my performance. Luckily, I had Brian by my side to support me, even if he was fussing a bit too much. I'm only the backup dancer. Go check on Ariana, she's the star of the show. I'm not the one in his mind. You're his one and only priority. Hey, he even gave up his chance to sign up for opening performance for you. Huh? You really did that for me? Your priority? Since when?
Yes, since I saw you emceeing on the first day of school.
Hi there, I'm Maxine Coleman. I'm the only daughter of 2 world-famous rocket scientists. Since I was little, I was brought along each time they made a television appearance, and my +1 was always my best friend, Gail.
What's your secret to such success? Well, we've both loved science since we were kids and decided to devote our lives to it. And family is our biggest motivation. It's not rocket science.
Whoa, your parents are so cool! On our way home, Dad asked me,
So, what's your dream, sweetie?
while I was scratching my head for an answer, Gail already said, I want to be a talk show host, just like that lady tonight.
That's great. You can definitely do it. Don't worry, Maxine. You'll soon know yours.
However, both Gail and I had problems learning. While Gail struggled to say a proper sentence, reading and writing gave me the hardest time. Naturally, we both hated school. My parents took me to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with dyslexia. He also said I'd have much difficulty in school and wouldn't achieve high academic results. I was quite upset to hear that, but my pop-pop, who was a high school teacher, wasn't pleased with that remark.
Nonsense. Maxine's very bright. Dyslexic or not, she'll succeed with the right method.
Since then, Pop-Pop began helping me and Gail study. Each time we finished a book, he'd give us little rewards. He also introduced us to sports, and even brought us to cool places like museums, galleries, and aquariums. From the moment I stepped foot in the aquarium, I knew this place is right up my alley because dolphins! Look, it's following me! I immediately told my parents the good news that evening. I found my passion. I'll become a marine biologist when I grow up. Years went by, and school wasn't scary to us anymore. Thanks to my pop-pop, I'm now at the top of my class and excel at biology. Dyslexia didn't have much effect on me. Meanwhile, Gail got rid of her stutter and became much more confident. We're like Superman and Batman, always side by side, working towards our own dream.
Professor Coleman, please tell us more about your latest research on marine life.
This is my life's work, which has been under development for the last decade. We both got into an elite high school, which would be a good jumping pad for our future. But unlike in middle school where I could learn at my own pace, I had to bend over backwards to have a good GPA, since the curriculum here is so intense. Unfortunately, dyslexia returned due to stress, making things even harder for me. In class, I had to look up the dictionary every 5 minutes, which slowed me down. One time, I stayed in class during recess to correct all the D's and B's that I'd mixed up in my essay. That alone got me called nerd. On the contrary, the pretty, extroverted Gail already became the face of the students' council, and she still tried her best to help me. That's right, this is just a minor setback. But that's not all. Yesterday, my chemistry teacher asked me to read the lab safety rules. Don't taste or sniff. You should be wafting the spell. What? I mean, smell. Sorry. We're in chemistry class, not Potions 101, Professor Snape. That's how Snape became my nickname, all because of that Robbie guy. Everyone loved his shenanigans, and he got away with everything because he's a rising track star. But really, he's the villain in my story. Lately, Gail and I had less time to chat because she's so busy, hanging out with Robbie. They met when Gail interviewed him for the school paper. Worse still, she often defended him, saying I'd like him once I got to know the guy. Ugh, no thanks. Besides, it seems that Gail's making achievements towards her dream. Meanwhile, I could barely handle studying and getting along with my classmates. Then came a time when every student who wished for a head start into a prestigious university needed to see the college counselor, Mrs. Morales. She said that my grades were pretty good, but I'd also need a good personal statement. It's supposed to capture the essence of who I am and show that I'm ready to commit myself to my future. Simple enough, right? But when it comes to actually writing, why is it so hard? Am I doubting my own plan? Can I really be a marine biologist? At dinner, I tried to bring this up to my parents, but it seemed they're already thinking I'm a marine bio student. Guess there's no turning back now. I called Gail to the aquarium to help me clear my thoughts. She was late, so I went to catch up with my dolphin friends. They actually calmed me down.
Suddenly, a screeching voice took me out. You're dyslexic because you speak dolphins' language? Should we find Dolphinese books for you? I turned around to see Gail and an entourage of her new friends and that buffoon. They started giggling. No word in the English language could describe how mad and humiliated I was. Did you really need to bring them here just to embarrass me? I walked away, but accidentally headed to a glass tunnel. It felt like I was fully submerged underwater. The horrible memory of the time I fell through ice into the deep, dark, frozen cold water came rushing back. I immediately dashed outside. Max, wait! I turned around to see Gail running after me. Watch out! A car's coming! I quickly pushed her away. The car didn't hit her, but she's injured. We brought her to the hospital ASAP. But when she came to, Gail couldn't speak. Her doctor said her vocal cord was temporarily paralyzed due to neck and chest trauma. That meant Gail could no longer present the school sports day. I was overcome with guilt. Gail told me,
I'll be all right. Sorry about earlier. I thought bringing our classmates would cheer you up.
She even said that I should keep chasing my dream and not let anything hold me back. I was so touched, but somehow, her words made me feel so pressured. I'll even work harder from now on. After that day, Robbie kept following me around trying to apologize. I avoided him like the plague. One day, I even skipped English, and when I got back, my classmates were buzzing about some substitute teacher named Mr. Coleman. They seemed so excited, since he didn't make them do any work and only told them fun anecdotes. Huh? That name rings a bell. And later my suspicion was confirmed when I met with my grandpa's angry and disappointed look after school. I obviously went home to a raging storm, but it didn't matter. I used this chance to spill my guts about how exhausting school was, how annoying it was to be picked on by an absolute moron all the time while my bestie wasn't by my side. Strangely, Grandpa listened attentively, then simply said he'd handle it. A few days later, he revealed that his way of handling it was making me that dimwit's tutor. Worst idea ever! Even though Pop Pop guaranteed that clown would work with me, I still wanted to kiss that jock with an uppercut. I ranted to Gail thinking she'd help me out of this. Unexpectedly, Gail also told me to give him a chance. Then, I might see his good side too? Right at that moment, the idiot appeared with a Nintendo Switch. How immature! That's my cue to leave. After the first lesson, I realized any regular teaching method could never hold this dummy's attention. But I can't just give up. Pop-Pop taught me that there's no bad students. Fine, I'll find the right way to make him study. So, I showed him YouTube videos on biology to keep him focused, taught him the periodic table song, and talked about world history in his language. In 1914, after the Austrian Archduke was unalieved, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and Russia was like, say less, we got you, bro. Then Germany wanted to be the main character and waged war when literally nobody asked. So, you're saying World War I started mostly because the German Empire was pressed about being mid? Yes, brother. After some time, Robbie's grades went from D and F to C and B, while I no longer had to cram like before, since preparing lessons for him helped me remember everything naturally. Studying suddenly wasn't so hard anymore, and maybe Gail was right. This guy wasn't that terrible after all. One afternoon, Robbie shared some good news. Hey, my track meet went so well. Thanks for helping me with my grades, or else I would have been disqualified. Let's celebrate! Congrats! Can't celebrate without Gail. I heard she just got back from the hospital. Let's come to her place and get nuts. Moderately, though. Robbie passionately talked about his great achievement, while I told Gail that we're getting along now, but Gail seemed unenthusiastic. Then she coldly asked us to leave. We were both so confused. I asked Gail's mom and found out that most of her injuries had healed, except for her vocal cord. She's undergoing treatment, but her doctor was unsure how long it would take for her to talk again. Poor girl. Suddenly, Gail rushed out to put a piece of paper in my hand, then ran away. On my way home, I read the note. It's all your fault. If you didn't run, none of this would have happened. I'd rather get hit by a car. It would have only given me a broken arm. It's you who killed my dream. That's Gail's true feelings? Her words cut deep. When Gail returned to class, she didn't talk to anyone, and of course avoided me and Robbie. One time during recess, Mrs. Morales came to me and complimented my personal statement. She even said that if I kept up my GPA, I should have it all in my bag. That means my essay didn't seem as pretentious as I thought, right? Robbie was so happy for me, but I saw Gail's glare out of the corner of my eye and immediately signaled for Robbie to keep it down. At lunchtime, he asked if I was upset because of Gail. Not really. She'll perk up when she gets better. So, why the long face? Did Mrs. Morales say you have a bright future ahead of you? I'm not sure anymore. I made myself out to look like someone fully committed to marine biology in my essay, but deep down, it felt like I was lying. I can't even get close to water after falling through the ice that one time. I suddenly felt my throat closing and my eyes watering. I instinctively stood up and left without saying another word. I wanted to talk to my mother about this as soon as I got home, but I arrived in the middle of her conversation with Gail's mom. She brought us the good news. Voice therapy worked, and Gail could talk now. That's amazing. Gail's mom said she's waiting for me at the park, so I went straight there. At the park, I saw Gail standing by a pond. Thank goodness you can talk again. I always knew you'd recover for your dream. My dream? It's turned to ashes. Then Gail told me that although she could talk again, her buttery smooth voice didn't return. Oh no, I was dead inside and tried my best to comfort her. I still believed she could overcome this and regain her voice, the same way she got over her stutter.
Easy for you to say. Do you know what it's like to have a demon in your throat? I don't even recognize myself anymore.
No, you can still...
How about you? Can you get over your fear to achieve your dream? Come on now, do it!
With each line, Gail put another step forward, pushing me closer to the edge, until there was only a few inches between me and the water.
Go on, it's for your dream. What are you afraid of?
Gail took one more step, and I fell into the pond. My trauma took over me. I panicked, thinking this was it. Then someone pulled me out. Robbie! You're insane! She could have died! Gail just ran away crying. Don't yell at her. I shouldn't have picked at her wound. Also, this should be a practice for when I become a marine biologist. Seriously? Or are you just scaring yourself even more? My family expects this much from me. If I gave up on my dream because of a tiny little accident from when I was 13, I only have myself to blame. Dream this, dream that. Are you sure that's what you really want to do, and not just a 6-year-old girl's dream? Robbie's words jolted me awake. It's true that I no longer enjoy studying as much as when I was learning with Pop Pop. Every ounce of effort I put out recently was solely for a far-fetched dream that I'm not even sure if I want anymore. I don't want to disappoint my parents, but I can't keep struggling like this for the rest of my life. But I've held on to this dream for so long and worked so hard for it. What do I do if I give up now? You'll figure it out. Take your time. I used to play football and was sure that I'd become an NFL player. Then at one point I realized that's not my thing, so I quit. And after trying out many different things, I fell in love with track. Change isn't the end of the world. I can't believe it took me this long to realize that it's too early for me to commit. Change is normal. But what if I never find my life's ultimate goal, and I'm just wasting time? Jeez, chill, man. You're making someone like me, who couldn't care less about school, actually enjoy studying. You're living life and putting some good into the world. Ain't no time wasted. No need to be Martin Scorsese. You mean marine biologist, right? But thank you. I needed that. I came home to see Gail crying to my very concerned parents. Mom jumped to embrace me when she saw that I was drenched. Gail told me everything. Why didn't you tell us? We're so proud of you, and nothing would ever stop us. So, Gail revealed my fear of water from that accident when I was 13, and how much I tried to overcome that fear for my childhood dream. It's so difficult for me to talk about it, mostly because I can't admit to myself that accident left a scar on me, so I'd suppressed my pain all this time. Telling both my parents about it now actually felt liberating. Luckily, they're very understanding and allowed me time to find my true calling. As for Gail,
I'm sorry. I was so frustrated with myself that I put it all on you. It's not your fault.
Turned out, when Gail ran off, she was hiding behind a bush nearby and overheard my conversation with Robbie. His surprisingly wise take moved her as well. Gail said she'd keep doing therapy for as long as it'd take. Yes, I believe in you. If voice therapy doesn't work out, becoming a heavy metal rock star doesn't sound too bad.
Wow, really? I thought Robbie was talking for a second there.
After that, it was business as usual, but there's less pressure on me. I actually made a new friend this year and got closer to my best friend. Gail's voice is improving, and she's also having fun exploring other avenues besides talk show host now. Summer came in the blink of an eye, and I decided to volunteer at a school for students with learning disabilities. I wanted to help other dyslexic people like me learn to the best of their ability, the same way Pop Pop helped me. It sounds like a good start for my own self-discovery journey. That could be my dream job. If it's not, I'll keep looking.
That's my dad, Marcus Baldwin, the world-famous jockey. Now he's the chairman of a super successful horse racing club. As his cherished only child, I was given everything I could ever dream of. But then something big happened that changed things. Before I tell you more, don't forget to like and subscribe. At the age of 8, I was in the playroom brushing my doll's hair when Dad let this tatty-looking woman and her daughter in.
Audrey, I'd like you to meet Belinda and her mom. They're going to be staying here for a while and be our new maids.
Belinda looked so frightened. So, feeling bad for her, I took her hand and let her play with my dolls. We soon became the best of friends, and I even managed to persuade Dad to let her attend the same school as me. Unsurprisingly, I grew up obsessed with horses and dreamed of becoming a famous jockey like Dad. I practiced riding my horse, Jackal, every day after school, and we became quite the formidable team. Soon, I was winning a heap of junior contests, and even the newspapers predicted I'd be the next big name in the world of horse racing. This certainly helped my popularity at school, and I began a clique full of elite members. However, there was one slight problem. Due to Belinda's humble background, the other girls didn't get with her. Where did you get those shoes from? Your grandma? Did you let your grandma style your hair too? Come on, girls. Let's see if the canteen has any oat muffins left. Everything was practically perfect, and to put the cherry on top of the cake, I was invited to a gala event for talented young jockeys. I needed to look the part, so I got my driver to take me to the mall to find the most amazing outfit. But on the way, everything changed. I woke up in the hospital, wearing an ugly gown and feeling dizzy with confusion. Oh my, you're awake! Huh? Why am I here? Sweetie, you were in a car accident. You've been in a coma for the last 2 years. 2 years? What? No way! That meant I'd missed out on 2 whole years of my life and was now 17. I missed my own sweet 16th. Once I got over the initial shock of being Sleeping Beauty, I made sure to ask the most important question. Is Jackal okay? Who won the Grand Youth Championship? After catching up with my parents, they told me something even more surprising.
Audrey, you've been very poorly, and we thought we were going to lose you. You needed a new kidney, but we weren't matches. But Belinda was, and she donated you hers.
We are so grateful to her that when her mom sadly passed away, we decided to adopt her. She's now your sister. I was sad to hear about Belinda's mom, but grateful for what Belinda did for me. I'd always seen her as my sister anyway. Right after I got discharged from the hospital, I was excited to get back to school and resume my life. Only, it seemed the world had moved on without me. No one dressed like me anymore, and I was stuck in a class with 15-year-olds. I tried to interact with them, so when I saw the teacher pinning up a picture of an elderly man, I asked if this was her grandpa. The whole class fell silent for a second, then suddenly exploded with laughter.
It's the president, Audrey.
Ugh! How was I supposed to know? At lunchtime, when I went to join my old friends, I overheard them talking. 2021 called. It wants its tennis skirt back. What language is she speaking? Oh my god, Audrey is like an alien. She doesn't know anything. I mentioned the lucky girl syndrome trend, and she literally looked at me like a fish. Come on now, you know she can't help it. Let's go get some cheese fries. Anything you say, Belinda. Belinda was on my side, right? It kind of felt like she'd stepped right in and taken my place. At least my parents would be glad to have me home, right? Wrong. Mom was always shopping, attending yoga class and the spa, but she didn't ask me to go with her. Instead, she always asked Belinda. It felt like she'd forgotten that me, her real daughter, actually existed. Meanwhile, at the riding club, as I traipsed through the stables, I heard Dad talking to Belinda about an upcoming event.
I'm so lucky you're here to help promote this event. I'd be lost without you.
I no longer fit in at school, at home, or at the horse racing club. Life has changed around me, and I felt frozen in time. Worse still, I had to take this gross medicine. One time my maid was chasing me around the furniture, trying to make me take it, but I used ornaments, cushions, and books to block the path. I was so distracted making my obstacle course that I bumped straight into Douglas Barron, my dad's business partner.
My, you certainly are a determined young lady.
Later that evening, Dad called me into his office. I thought he was going to grumble at me for not taking my meds, but instead he said something I wasn't expecting.
It seems that Douglas is rather impressed by you. He wants you to date his son, Damien. The firm's been under a lot of pressure recently, and having Douglas on side would be beneficial, especially as he's our biggest stakeholder.
What? You want me to date a stranger just to help your business? I can revive the business myself without having to do that. I just need to win the horse racing tournament.
No, it's too soon after the coma. You're not ready yet. Dating is the only way.
As if I was gonna listen to Dad. So I secretly came here with Belinda. I was about to saddle up Jackal, but then I got a whiff of horse manure and began to feel dizzy and nauseous. Dad suddenly showed up and took me to the hospital. Turns out, I'm allergic to horse manure. Ugh. Then Dad started yelling at me for training without his permission.
Thankfully, Belinda informed me what was going on and told me about your allergy.
Belinda? Why? Sorry, sis. I only told Dad as I'm worried about you. Whatever. I'm still going to horse race again.
Actually, there's physical therapy, and if you pass the agility test, you could still get back to training.
Dad, please.
Fine. Do the therapy, but only if you go on this date with Damien.
I agreed to go on the date, but I never said anything about being well-behaved on it. So in order to prepare for our special date, I watched this tutorial video. How to dress to attract men. A tutorial. Rule number 1, make sure your hair is long and never put up. Rule number 2, make sure to show a little skin, ladies. Rule number 3, footwear should be dainty and delicate. And ta-da! As I showed up at the restaurant looking ridiculous, I instantly recognized this quirky guy from school, Damien. So, I made sure I had the most unapproachable expression on my face. As soon as I sat down, I purposely ordered the weirdest food combo, ice cream hamburger. I was convinced he'd think I was a lunatic and leave, but instead, he reached over and tried a bite of my ice cream burger.
Interesting.
What? How could he like that? Someone please call the food police over here.
Your fashion sense is so refreshing. Everything about you is fascinating. I am rather smitten.
The rumors about him being quirky are definitely true. After the disastrous date with Damien, I met with Cooper, a medical student at the hospital who was helping me with my physical therapy. During the training, he was attentive and super encouraging. I was beginning to feel better, but then Damien showed up and insisted on staying there so he could check Cooper was doing his job properly. He wouldn't stop humming annoying tunes and munching on potato chips really loudly. Then at home afterward, he wouldn't leave and continued bugging me. When he finally left, I moaned to Belinda about how annoying he was. But to my surprise, she said she thought he was cute and funny? Hang on, does this mean Belinda likes Damien? On the day of the physical examination, I passed every single test without any mistakes. I was smiling as the doctor made his announcement.
Miss Baldwin, I'm afraid you failed the assessment.
I ran out of there and cried to myself. I felt someone sit next to me and was about to tell them to go away when I realized it was Cooper.
Audrey, the improvements you've made are impressive. I was sure you'd pass.
Seeing his caring face made me feel a little better. We talked some more and then he offered to drive me home. As we walked around the corner to the parking lot, we heard Belinda raising her voice with, "The doctor." We stopped to listen. "I'm not giving you more money. I already paid you for failing Audrey. Sign this so I can be sure you'll keep this a secret." What? How could Belinda betray me like this? Belinda, why? Why did you do this? You don't understand how hard it is living in your shadow. I love the horse riding club, but you're coming back, and there'll be no use for me there anymore. You ruined everything! Then she stormed off, leaving me standing there stunned. I immediately got home and told Dad what she'd done. I expected him to be on my side, but
I'm sure you're overthinking the situation. Besides, you should be grateful to Belinda. Not only did she save your life, but now she has agreed to marry Damien to save the company.
Ugh! Belinda was only doing this to steal my life. It wouldn't work. I was more determined than ever to go back into horse riding and claim back my life. Mine! Meanwhile, Cooper helped find another doctor to test me, and this time I passed. I showed my results to Dad, and he finally allowed me to go back to training. But when I brought up Belinda bribing the doctor again, he just remained quiet. Am I even his daughter anymore? Okay, change of plan then. I met up with Damien to ask about his marriage with Belinda. So, did you agree to the marriage?
No way! I don't want to marry whatever her name is.
Great! I mean, that's sad.
Well, my heart belongs to you.
How about we get payback on them and fake date? Just faking it though, if you don't mind.
Fake? Real? If it means being your boyfriend, then I'll do it!
So we immediately returned home, walked inside and linked arms and gave each other lovey-dovey looks. Belinda's scrunched up face was a picture. I resumed horse riding practice and got around my allergy problems by using sachets and spraying perfume all over myself. It worked at first, but then I started getting allergic to the sachets too. Cooper immediately took notice, and the next day he showed up with some homemade herbal sachets. Not only did they help cure my allergy, but they also had a calming effect on me. Without the allergy bothering me, I could focus on practicing, and soon I was back to my amazing former riding self again. I showcased my talents to the club and everyone seemed impressed.
A talent like you should be head of the club.
Yeah, I may not be a big talker like someone I know, but actions speak louder than words. Belinda was clearly jealous of my rise to success, so she pulled some mean pranks on me at school. One time she suddenly turned nice and offered me a coffee, but it turned out she had snuck hot sauce in it. I was so mad. I changed her ringtone to fart sounds and called her number. It was hilarious! But then she suddenly fainted and was taken to the school infirmary. Oh, come on. She was so hurt she fainted? I told the other students she was faking it, but instead of listening to me, they all took Belinda's side. You're so ungrateful. Belinda even gave you her kidney, yet you scared her so much she fainted? Yeah, you wouldn't be here today without her. What kind of person are you? Feeling deflated and not listened to, I ran off. I stormed home, and on the way, bumped into Cooper. Unable to hold my emotions anymore, I burst into tears. He insisted we went for a walk, and I ended up spilling out everything to him.
I don't condone what Belinda did, but I kinda see it from her perspective. She's an orphan who longs for a family. She finally found her place in the world, and then you woke up and became a threat.
I never thought of it like that before. I realized the best thing I could do was to stop the pointless revenge and put all my energy into my recovery. I stopped hanging around with my clique, then broke up with Damien. I trained hard at the club, but not for my dad or the company, but for myself. Belinda showed up and tried provoking me, but I just ignored her. All my hard work paid off, and I qualified for the tournament. At the tournament, I was leading the race and felt unstoppable. But then some bees started buzzing around Jackal's face. He freaked out and started bucking. Then everything went dark. I woke up in hospital feeling drowsy and saw someone rummaging in my bed. Belinda, what are you doing? Then Cooper appeared.
Is this what you're after? I saw Belinda swap the sachets for pollen ones to attract the bees. I bet she also switched the ones before to worsen your allergies.
What did I do to deserve this? It's so easy for you, isn't it? Because of you, I've lost everything.
Belinda, how could you? Apologize to Audrey right now.
No, I won't. This is all your fault.
It's all my fault. Many years ago, I was in a relationship with Belinda's mom. We ended on amicable terms, but it was only in her final days that she told me the truth. Belinda is my daughter. I didn't want to upset anyone, so I kept it to myself. But then when you needed a kidney and Belinda ended up being a match, I used this as a reason to suggest adopting her. Then you woke up and we were so happy. I didn't realize how this had affected Belinda, or you, Audrey. Please forgive me. I want to put it right.
Mom and me were so shocked, and Mom told him to go and find Belinda. After Dad left, Mom hugged me.
Sweetie, both you and Belinda deserve warmth and love. I promise things will be better from now on.
As I left the hospital the next day, I saw Belinda walking toward me. I'm so sorry. You've been nothing but good to me, and I was horrible. I was so worried about you when you were in the coma. But when you woke up, I got scared no one would want me anymore. I care about you, Audrey. You're my sister. I wrapped my arms around her. You've always been a sister to me, Belinda. But please, no more pranks. Then I saw Cooper walking over to me, holding a huge balloon. Looks like you have company.
I'm glad you both made up. Here, I got you this.